Hey y'all, and welcome to another segment of Uncle Jonathan Quiles trial. Okay, he was accused of impregnating and murdering of his niece, which through marriage. Okay, y'all come on in, take a seat, real deal. While I'm awake, if I fall asleep, I apologize. I apologize. So today, what they're going to do this morning is continue where they left out at. Let me put another picture up here. Hold on. And y'all, I mean, them text messages is whoa, whoa, woo, text messages. It's off the chain. Yeah, we got a couple minutes here. Uh, I finished those text messages last night, and they were, oh my God, real deal. So what's the, oh, those tests was more like, they made them girls look like they was grown. And he was the grown man intervening with her in her relationship with guys her age. You know what I mean? So that's what we dealing with here. Yeah. This should be day. This should be day 5. Let me check. Make sure. Yeah, I hope I don't go to sleep today. Today. Yeah, it's Cinco. Day Cinco. Day Cinco. Jonathan, let's try. Yeah, you know what? It seemed like them girls. Seemed like them girls raising themselves. Them girls seem like look at him. He didn't mind we're gonna cut the rest of the hair off. Y'all, let me ask y'all something. I ain't gonna ask y'all. So it's something that we talked about this morning. I ain't gonna ask y'all. Cause this person just texted me again. He just texted me, y'all. I don't know what to do with him. I'm not texting this man. This man is texting me. I don't know what to do, y'all. Y'all got to help me with this. Y'all got to help me with this. Yeah, he talking about call me. He want me to call him when I got time. See what I mean? Y'all got to tell me. Y'all got to put in that chat. If you was on my live this morning, y'all got to help me with that situation because this man just texted me again. I need y'all. I need y'all advisory. Jonathan, Jonathan, Jonathan. Jonathan a mess, y'all. And his brother is in it too. I finished it out. I did an upload for y'all. But I was tripping off of that. The brother said told him that uh if he did that, he need to let them people know, but he had to talk to the police. And then Jonathan get mad at his brother and tell his brother that I can you supposed to be my brother. I'm surprised that you talked to the police. But he had to talk to the police. They were gonna question him. I don't know why people think that you got control over that. No, you don't. And if he ain't did nothing like the brother said, if he ain't do nothing, then it is what it is. Then I said, okay. There he go about to sweet talk me. Right now I'm looking at 8:56. So they supposed to start with the finishing of the Snapchat with the detective. The detective need to open up his mouth and talk. 'Cause he got on my nerve this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, acting like he can't read like a baby. But I can understand maybe he reading it like that because it's the kids writing. See, sometimes people writing make you read like that. And them kids writing, so I can understand it. So I can't see out my glasses this morning. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Y'all come on in and hit the like button that should come in. I appreciate it though. I appreciate y'all. Come on. I wish they'll come out so I won't get sleepy. I ain't took no nap, y'all. They ain't took a nap now. I know I supposed to be napping. I didn't even know I snore like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. See, you didn't say come. I sit down. What? Come on, y'all. Let's get started now. It's 8:59. Here we go. Whew. Let me see what's supposed to be going on. Let me see. Dave Cinco. Y'all need to put some pep in y'all step on this uh live judge. Y'all gotta put some pep in this stuff. Oh yeah, that's what we put this in the chat. Come on now, welcome to the live. Oh, come on, I'm sleeping. Why they put it on him? He be on his phone a lot. That man right there, I be watching him. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. What time they gonna start? 'Cause I smarty. Y'all, come on, please. Come 9 o'clock. It's 9:06. I don't wanna go to sleep on y'all. I don't wanna go to sleep. I don't wanna go to sleep. I don't wanna go to sleep. Let's see what that is supposed to do today. For those who just joined, and we still waiting on them to come back. Let me see the date this year, 23. Let me see. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. So 38, 37, 36, 35, 34. He was 32 years old. He was 32 years old when he was messing with that girl. Oh, wait. Mm, 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 mm. Johnathan was 32. And she was in the 10th grade. Yeah. Lee. Oh, we he supposed to been in jail. The key testimony came from the general manager of the Ace pickup part, y'all. Look at him. Is that him
Back on
again?
the record, 19 CF 7518. I have counsel of state defense, Mr. Quiles, present. We do have our jury present, and I'll wait to bring him out until he finishes up. Before we get started, anything we need to handle for the state before the jury comes out?
We just need Detective Abbott.
Okay, anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Can we bring Detective Abbott back in, please? He should be outside the courtroom, I'm assuming.
He was in the hall.
I mean, he is putting on a tie.
Michelin equips more than
8 out of 10 electrical manufacturers.
All right, Detective Abbott's making his way forward. Mr. Gregg, go ahead and bring the jury in, please. No, you're good. You're still under oath from yesterday.
Your Honor, the jury's entering the court.
Yeah, Jonathan be looking at somebody over there. In the he be
All right,
looking
good morning, everybody. You guys, everyone may
at
have
one
a
of them
seat.
juries.
Before we get started, just a reminder, Detective Abbott is still under oath from yesterday during his testimony. We'll continue with the state's direct here in a moment. A quick scheduling issue. I expect to be able to get a lot of testimony in today. If we stay until a little after 6, does that present a huge issue from anybody? And you can give me nods of the heads if you wish to talk to your better half. And give me a note later or mention it in the bailiffs. That's fine as well. I just wanted to give you a heads up now so we can try to maximize our time together. I know it's a long day. It certainly will accommodate you guys for breaks and that nature, but given that it's Wednesday, third day of the week of week 2, myself and the parties are trying to maximize our time together. So if that's a major issue for anybody, I've gotten a few shakes, but just let me know if it's an issue by mentioning it to the bailiff, who'll let me know at the next break or something, and we'll go from there. With that said, State, you may continue with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Detective Abbott, we had left off with State's Evidence 64. If you could please tell us about the next entry where we left off. I believe that's going to be the 8/19/2018-202. If you can tell us what that is.
This is another message, 8/19/2018-202. I'm sorry for sending that. I'm still in my feelings, but it really don't matter no more anyways. We will never be together ever again. I don't ever want to talk to you no more.
Again, Detective, please be very careful about reading the exact language, okay? Thank you.
I don't even want to talk to you no more. You really went the lowest that I could handle and would never forgive you.
And the next entry, please.
8/19/2018-244. It appears to be a picture.
And we'll just look at it very briefly. And could you tell us what it is?
It is a screenshot of a Snapchat message between Uncle and me, where Uncle says, "Love you," me, we're in the same house. Uncle, I'm coming for a kiss.
And the next one, please.
8/19/2018 2018-255, free man, LOL, inside joke.
And the next one?
8/19/2018-257. I'm so glad I don't have to worry about trusting anymore because at the end of the day, everyone is always out for themselves. So I'll be just the same way. FTW is back in full effect. Fuck it all.
The next one, please.
8/20/2018, 12:43. You can't keep it real with me because I'm not important enough to do so. You keep cheating on me and I'm done with you. So stay in your feelings as long as you need to be. I finished with all my stressing and crying over you. I'm good.
And the next message, please.
It's 8/20/2018 at 1:06. It's so funny how you mess up and you decide that you're going to be mad at me because I don't trust you no more and don't want you no more either. This could have all been avoided, but you choose this. This is what you wanted, so now you got it. I just wish I didn't feel so much for you because you wouldn't be a issue for me to get over. But as I always say, it just a feeling that will pass in time.
And the next message?
8/20/2018, 109. You're just making it all so easy for me to just leave you alone. Goodbye, Yana. I think you should take the bus back home from now on. You seem to have it all figured out.
And Detective Abbott, through your investigation with speaking with family members, is Yana an abbreviation for Ayana?
Yes.
And the next one, please.
The next one is 8/20/2018, 121, and it is a photograph.
And what does it say?
The face of a cheater.
And have you seen this image before?
Yes.
And where was that located?
On the defendant's cell phone.
And do you recall the date?
No.
Okay. Would that, though, the date be in the records?
Yes. We read it off yesterday. I don't remember what it was.
Okay, no problem. However, did that picture have a saying on it?
No.
And does this picture have a saying?
Yes.
And what is that saying?
The face of a cheater.
And who's the picture of?
IS.
Wow.
And the next message, please.
8/20/2018, 122. Nah, I'm not going to even bother. You're both full of shit, and I'm not going to keep stressing over you and your lies. Just know you're mad fucked up and you lost everything very good to you because you lost something very good to you because you want to be a unloyal person. Like I said, I hope it was worth it.
And the next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 124. And now you're talking to someone else behind my back again too. And you wanted to be married to me. Wow.
And the next message, please.
8/20/2018 at 125. You tell me you're a liar. You just can't stay with one person at all, huh? And I also found out the truth about what you were coming to wear over her. That's why your mom flips on you.
Yeah, man.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 132. I can't believe I'm still talking to you and actually trying to believe what you're saying, even when I know you're lying to me. I'm so fucked up over your manipulation. It's so sad. I really just need to get away from you. You know, a ton of people would say you're going to end up alone with nobody. I'm not going to say that because that's a lie. You're going to be with someone that is going to treat you the same exact way you have done me. And then you would be able to relate to this feeling I'm having.
The next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 351. Oh, so you in your feelings now because thing, and I dismissed it like how you been doing me. All of this was just words to me. The only real thing that I know is true is what I responded to.
And the next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 444. You got it all the way twisted. I caught you in a lie. You didn't just come out with the truth, LOL. And you still continue to lie about things, so you have only your own self to blame for me feeling like I do about you.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 7/13.
No, 506.
Good morning.
506. Okay. I didn't see you scroll that high. 8/20/2018, 506. Same shit, humble yourself. You're wrong. This why I'm not interested in being with you no more. You have an excellent excuse for everything you know you're wrong about.
And the next entry, please, Detective.
8/20/2018, 507. I asked you how did you feel about your sister liking Jayco, and you said she always does that to you. Then you got real quiet, and I said, KP, you just fucked up, right? So get out of this fantasy, as you was truly just letting me know all your lies.
And the next entry, Detective.
8/20/2018, 7/13. I'm not making anything up. I just choose not to bother you. I just choose not be bothered with you no more. You can keep the truth all the way to your grave, but just know, I know, and that's it. Just because I'm not acting crazy over it, don't make it hurt any less. There is many things I keep to myself. So like I said, I'm just done with you and your unloyal, dishonest self. And I hope it was worth every bit of it, because I truly loved the hell out of you. And now I'm trying to get over you.
And the next entry, please.
8/20/2018, 8/26. Yeah, I can't keep this up with you. You know exactly what you did with him, but you'll never admit it, so I'm good. You're good with us not being together, and so am I.
And the next entry.
8/20/2018, 9/12. Why you already know what it looks like. You know what, you are something else. LOL. I'm just so done with you and your bullshit. You're making me hate you every time you try to manipulate me.
The next entry.
8/20/2018, 11/42. I think you will pick a different distraction before you know it, and you'll never even think about nothing anymore.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 201. Nah, I don't have nothing much to talk about, and plus it's not the same anymore.
The next entry.
8/21/2018, 209. I didn't mean to, and I did already. Why you acting concerned for? Doing put me in the same caliber as you. I said I wouldn't, and I meant it. Me and Maya are just good friends.
And is Maya a nickname for Samaya?
Yes.
And the next entry, please.
8/21/2018, 11/03. Yeah, I was just going to say GM, but then I thought about it, and you're the one that needs to make the effort, not me.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 3/22. OMG, you was right. I can hear the train horn from the zoo.
And the next entry.
8/21/2018, 3/22. I don't like nobody hurting you but me.
And the next entry.
12/02. I'm sorry. I forgot you're carrying our child and you're oversensitive. I do love you very much and don't want you to keep going through this drama, but we have plans, and if you act off of your emotions, you will hinder all of our plans in the future. It's very hard to see it now, but it's the truth.
And the next,
2018, 2 o'clock. The day Uncle John told you that Maya liked Ken, they were already dating. And the very next day was the first day that they met up. They had sex. And then on his birthday, they had sex.
and the next entry,
8/22, 2018, 4/29. You know what I'm talking about, but you want to play dumb. It's cool. Our whole relationship because I know try this again.
the next entry,
8/22, 2018, 4/29. Okay, then I pray whenever you get ready to tell me the truth, you will and see how much further we will go. But until then, this is what it is.
and the next entry,
Okay, 8/23, 2018, 3/13. I lied about not liking Maya and wanting to do things with her. I started the whole thing. I told you that I was only talking to you, but I was also talking to Maya. The only reason we didn't do it more than once was because she found out that we were doing things and she didn't want nothing to do with me. I did kiss her down there once only. That was the same day we did it. I told you things to like me more, and when I told you that I wanted you to see our other people, I was lying. %2C. I talked to Mai about you and our problems all of the time. %2C. At first, I told you I was going to give you a baby to keep. I wasn't being serious, but once I seen how happy you were, I decided to give you 2 once you get older.
What?
After I found out about you and the boy, I was going to sex your sister to hurt you like you hurt me, but she didn't want to, so it never happened. I told you I had cameras up in the house. It not true. I know the truth from something else, which I'm not going to say. I get info from your mom and aunts about you and tell to see that I'm not bothered by your actions anymore, but that's far from the truth. I hate when you are looking at other people, %2C. I hate when you talk to other people, %2C. I have your friends, %2C, neighbors. I hate that you still talk to that boy. I hate that you talk to other people on your social network, Instagram, Snap,
No, he jealous.
and some other things you have, %2C. I act like I have hacked your phone and I don't know what's going.
and the next entry,
8/23, 2018, 3/18. I stopped wanting Maya after she turned me down the last time I got it in my head that it's not going to happen. She said, just laid there, say no, and she was much looser than you.
What? Cat dog. Ooh-wee.
okay, and the next entry,
8/23, 2018, 10:30. You see what you don't get is I don't give a fuck about what Maya do. I only care about what you do. And like I said in my truth letter to you, I would tell you aunt and mom about things so
be
you
careful, and your mom,
I would tell you aunt and your mom about things so you could only be with me. But you might only read the Maya part and disregard the rest.
Sure do.
and the next entry,
8/24, 2018, 12:54. That's how it should be. If Jaco comes at you in a inappropriate way, you should tell me ASAP so I can deal with it
That's what I
right
do.
away. And if I question him in front of you, you should be straightforward with it all so he knows you're off limits.
Talking to him like he's 16.
and the next entry,
8/25, 2018,
That's
7/11.
the detective
And
reading.
it appears to be another picture.
That's the detective reading. What
and
the
can you describe what we're looking at?
It is another screenshot of a text message from Uncle John.
And could you just read the bubbles, please?
So yes. Yeah, text your aunt too, love. What's wrong, baby? Snap me. Yeah. Talk to me. Why are you crying? Hello. WTF, yeah. What happened from when we was talking to now? Are you serious right now? Okay then, GN, I love you. And then at the bottom, you can make out that it says, I knocked out.
Yeah, he got issues.
And the next entry?
8/26/2018, 11:19. LOL, you will be my best friend. Went, you're pregnant. I'll cook for you until you can't eat no more.
And the next entry?
What?
8/27/2018, 101. Because I want to take care of you.
He reading the way they writing. They be writing funny.
And the next entry?
8/27/2018, 10:29. I was on the roof and you told me to see if the chimney was connected to the other apartment so you could talk to that boy. I said, yeah. And you started to make plans to change your school schedule so you can meet up with him and go to a hotel. I started to cry and then I woke up.
And the next entry?
8/28/2018, 1:13. Yeah, I can hear it now. If a fire, yeah, %2C. Where Jaco, %2C. In my pants, yeah.
Mhm.
You want to put it out? I can't.
The next entry?
8/28/2018, 12:29. I'm Nim being a B. I just want you to be okay and I want to know where I stand with you so I'm not just surprised later that you've been with someone else and or you are talking to someone else. That's what I mean. I rather you just tell me up front so I can be prepared.
And the next entry?
8/29/2018, 12:10. I've been kicked down there so much.
Detective Adam, just take your time, okay? Make sure you're reading word,
Yes, ma'am.
exact word. Just take your time.
I've been kicked down there so much. I'm not sure how you even pregnant.
How you're even pregnant.
How you're even pregnant.
Thank you. The next entry?
8/29/2018, 5:59. It's a picture.
And can you describe it, please?
It is a screenshot of a photograph of two people having sex, and it says favorite position.
And the next entry?
9/2/2018 at 2:03. Says ha ja. First off, that boy don't know how to fight. %2C. 2, I've been fighting all of my life. I can take hits there. I could stand there and let him punch me and it would have no effect. All of me at all. On me
What?
at all. Although I look out of shape, I'm very seasoned. Just 2 days ago, I beat the shit out of someone. I believe I'm going to be okay. You see, I
Yeah,
told
do.
him to wait until everyone leaves. Not for me, it's
Dang.
so when I knock him on his ass, his pride won't be too messed up. The goal is not to defeat him, it's just to teach him to respect his place.
Good morning, Charlotte. And he talking to a
And the next
16-year-old.
entry?
9/3/2018, 11:51. That's what your slow ass should have said from the fucking jump.
And the next entry?
9/3/2018, 11:52. Because it was a simple question that you seem to had a problem answering it. It's cool though. I'm not going to bother you none. I'll talk to you tomorrow, GN.
And the next entry?
9/3/2018, 11:52. Oh, so you're not going to fuck him. You'll just wait for me. That's what you meant.
And the next entry?
9/4/2018, 9:27. I'm very aggravated right now. I'm going to hit you later.
The next entry?
9/7/2018, 12/21. Yeah, so I need you to be like 100% with me at all times. I'm just so in love with you. I'll kill you and cry.
What?
And the next entry,
And you did it too.
9/17/2018, 134. No, it seems like you the one that wants that, but you don't want to hurt my feelings, so you rather start up your bullshit again so I can leave you. Look, I don't have time for all of your little games. You like to play like I'm stupid and don't see what the fuck is going on. I trust you until you start lying to me again. Just like how all of a sudden you back playing your Sims game full time again to the point you don't have time for me no more. I won't be surprised that you don't telk the next,
and they don't, and this, the N word.
yes, it's the N word.
Okay, go ahead.
The same thing you tell me just so you do fuck up. Like the name you keep saying when we fucking, when you about to come and catch yourself.
And
Mm-mm.
the next message,
9/17/2018 at 1:43. I do you just keep lying to me. Then you try to make it as if I'm the one going behind your back with who though? I don't fuck with your sister. I don't talk to nobody but your ass.
Mm.
I'm just tired of your games. I'm getting it getting very old sometimes. I wish I wasn't so deep in love with you. Okay. I won't keep talking all of the bullshit you give me.
and the next entry,
9/17/2018 at 1:44. I expect you to like other people, but you can't even admit that. You're 16 and H all of the time. Why wouldn't you? But the fact that you just can't be real about it is sickening to me.
Mm-mm.
and the next entry,
9/17/2018 at 1:49. Why would she lie about deleting me on Snapchat? That's so stupid, right? You don't be even making sense, %2C. I believe when you said you went to your counselor's office to change your classes, but then you started with all the other bullshit that makes me question your story. But you have it all planned out, so I'm going to let you be. If there was a boy I was up into this point, I was trusting that you'll tell me, but I see you back to your old ways again. I hope whoever it is makes you happy, because obviously I can't. While you want to make it seem I'm doing things behind your back, really funny, Yana, for lying to me. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not staying with you either, so if you want to take the bus with your new buddy, do that. It will save me gas and me not seeing your face no more.
and the next entry,
9/17/2018 at 4:17. Yeah, so it can be so easy to leave you alone. I'm so in love with you. I push all my instincts to the side and look like the dumbass at the end. Well, you started your lying again.
and the next entry,
9/19/2018, 11:20. I'm sure you won't understand what's my problem, so I'm just not going to let you bother me like you have been anymore, since this seems to be a ongoing problem with you.
and the next entry,
9/25/2018, 3:02. You're stuck with me until you die.
What?
I love you way too much to let you go. So you're not going to have no life.
Mm.
and the next entry,
9/25/2018, 3:03. I'm way too in love with you to let you go.
What?
The next entry,
10/6/2018, 11/12. So if we get married, we will need to go to Vegas.
and the next entry,
10/9/2018, 3:01. I'm glad you got someone else. I hope he makes you happy. Bye.
and the next entry,
10/9/2018, 3:02. You mad fucked up.
and the next entry,
10/16/2018, 6:22. Well, after you come in my mouth, I'm going to keep licking your clit and make you
Come
come
on, he
again,
ain't got to say all that.
then
Could
make you
abbreviate that.
breakfast. And after you eat, I'm going to slowly put my tip in, then rub your clit with my tip, then slide it in some more until I'm all the way in, all the way, then grab your neck.
and the next entry,
11/3/2018, 2:46. It is a photograph.
and was it a photograph of?
A woman wearing underwear. To life. And then after he left, I ended up dying. So when I came back to life again, I missed him, but couldn't find him. And I went to a baseball field with one of his old partners. Then they hadn't seen him in a while.
And the next entry,
11/11/2018, 3:33, 501 West Adams Street, %2C, room 2472.
and the next entry,
11/18/2018, 11:33, wider hips.
and the next entry,
11/18/2018, 11:33, thicker thighs.
next entry,
11/18/2018, 11:33, curly hair.
the next entry,
11/18/2018, 11:34, trendy clothes.
and detective, the next entry,
11/18/2018, 11:34, lighter.
and the next entry,
11/19/2018, 3:25. Wow, you don't mean that. No, I get us protection. And since I never knew I could have got you birth, let me start over. Wow, you don't mean that. No, I get us protection. And since I never knew I could have got you birth control without your mom knowing.
next entry,
11/19/2018,
What?
3:26. I love being in you. I live tasting you with my tongue. I love your moans. You don't want to be with me no more.
Man,
and the next entry,
you too old for that.
11/19/2018, 3:28. You really breaking my heart right now. What the hell I do to deserve this?
the next entry,
11/19/2018, 3:28. I don't care about the sex. I just don't want to lose you. You are what I'm in love with.
the
Oh,
next entry,
12/1/2018 at 1:42.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Did you and Jaco do anything at all? If you tell me, I will forgive you and I won't bother with it no more. I promise. On Nia.
and does the defendant have a daughter named Nia?
Yes.
wow.
The next entry,
12/4/2018, 1:49. Yes, you're right, and I do see the problem. I just can't not talk to your sister because it would look weird. Now, a month at a time is okay, but not for good.
and the next entry,
12/4/2018, 4:05. You don't have time for me at all anymore. That's what it all seems like. So I'm taking your,
be careful with the wording.
so I'm taking you didn't want the ring from me.
And the next entry, detective?
12/5/2018 at 2:24. Well, I don't have a GF no more, so I know what you feeling.
And the last entry.
12/5/2018, 3:27. Like what way? I know you don't want to be with me no more. So I'm assuming that you have someone else who you might be in mind or giving your time to, since you not giving it to me.
And detective, is that where the records end with the Princess 4846 and the excess Yana communications?
Yes.
Now, Detective Abbott, did you, I think you had mentioned earlier, did you send to get some Google location data from Google?
Yes.
And did you ask the crime analyst unit to map that?
I did.
And so I'm going to be showing you State's Evidence 35. I'm first going to bring up from 12/19/2018. I'm going to pause it for a second. Did you review these?
Yes.
And then after reviewing, did you go and determine the various locations?
Yes.
Now, in the particular one involving 12/19/2018, did you look at the area of where the defendant's cell phone placed him?
Yes.
And I'll fast forward it just a moment to get to that time frame. So in the
They're right.
area around the 11:34, 11:33 time frame, can you tell, did you actually
Exactly.
drive out there?
Yes.
Can you tell us what the area is?
It's a parts place just off of Airport Road. It's Duval Place Drive, north of Ace Pickup Park.
Now, did you drive the distance between, and do you remember exactly this? You said it was off of what street, Duval Place?
Duval Place.
Is that here in Duval County?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you drive the distance between Terry Parker High School and this parts location off of Duval Place?
Yes, I did.
How long did it take you by car?
By car, it was roughly 18 minutes.
And was that one way, 18 minutes?
One way.
Okay. Now, did you then, fast forward just a moment. Now, when the GPS ends at approximately 11:39 time frame, did you drive from that area to Terry Parker High School or Terry Parker High School to that area?
I drove from this exact point to Terry Parker High School and then straight back.
And how long did it take you in driving time?
So round trip was roughly 35 minutes.
I say round trip was 35 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. I got over there. It took me longer to get there because of traffic than it did to get back.
Okay. That's why you're saying approximately?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, and looking at the map as well, is the area around the 11:39/29 time frame, is that north of Ace Pickup Park?
Yes.
And can you just circle approximately where Ace Pickup Park would be in relation to that pin? So in distance wise, how far is that from the last pin on the Google location data?
Approximately a mile, maybe a little less, a little more.
So it's not far.
No,
Is
ma'am.
that fair to say?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right, move on to December 20th. Now, were you ever determined this location here where the GPS location commences at 12/20/2018 at approximately the 16:04 hour?
Yes, this is Bush Drive, right at Main Street. And this location here is a bank or a post office, sorry. There's a bank and a post office right next to one another.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Detective. And how far would this location have been from Ace Pickup?
2 miles, 3 miles.
And is Ace Pickup Park south of this area?
Yes, ma'am, you straight down Main Street.
And could you just draw for us which one is Main Street? And is that the roadway that's going north and south on this map at this time frame at 1611?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now, what area is the Google data driving?
Heckscher Drive, Zoo Parkway.
Okay, and then what bridge is this?
I believe that's the bridge that, I don't know the name of it. It's the one on Heckscher Drive that takes you across the river.
Okay. Now, approximately, where are we heading?
Down towards Beach Boulevard.
Now, were you able to determine the location of 10268 Beach Boulevard?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that location?
The gun gallery.
And I believe you had already stated this is also where you found a sign-in sheet with the name Johnathan J. Quiles?
Yes.
And it was it on the 12/20/2018 date?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, what direction is the Google data traveling in?
North.
Do you know what bridge it is now that is being passed over?
The Dames Point Bridge.
Did he throw it in the water?
And now I'm paused it at the 2 minute and 8 seconds. We see a 528 Trout River Drive, 1739. Were you able to determine this location?
528 Trout River Drive is the defendant's address.
And now what direction is the Google data traveling?
It's going back south.
And do you recall what area of town this is that we're now traveling? And I'll pause it. It's at the 1809 time frame.
I would consider this zone 3. It's kind of the Mayport area, Heckscher Drive area. And Gervin Road is where it's at now.
Okay, so at the 1817 time frame, you say this is Gervin Road?
Yes.
And is that where we're looking now, is the Gervin Road area?
Yes, it's showing the phone moving around that neighborhood.
How is the GPS now traveling, looks like westbound and northbound?
West and then north.
So I've now paused it at the 1848. Were you able to determine this location?
This is a Walmart off of 295 and Monument.
Now, when did you learn of the potential location defendant being at the Walmart?
Once I got the results back from this, it was March 20th, 2019. And it takes roughly a week to get the crime analysis unit to map things for us. So 3 months later.
Would you have been able to try to obtain video surveillance?
We contacted them and we were told that they only hold video surveillance for 30 days.
They need to call the neighbor boy in there.
Now, Detective, ultimately, was the defendant arrested for the murder of IS and the sexual battery in July of 2019?
Yes.
Just have a moment. No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, they need to subpoena that boy who moved to the courtroom. I want to see what he looked like. Cause Johnathan jealous of him.
Good morning, Detective Abbott.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. All right. So between yesterday and today, we've gone over quite a bit.
Yes.
You know, mine will kind of go back over here in just a second. This isn't working.
So Dave, just put it on the table, yeah.
I was gonna say, it's rolling away on me.
Officer, can you help him out real quick?
You got it?
Oh, okay. You good?
Yes, sir, you're
All
on.
right.
All right. We kind of back up a little bit, if you don't mind. We're gonna start at the beginning. You stated yesterday, this started as a runaway, correct?
Correct.
Or missing
A
person,
missing persons case.
but believed to be a runaway, not endangered though, correct?
We didn't know. She was supposed to come home from school that day and she wasn't on the bus and she never made it home and no one knew where she was at.
Okay,
So I wouldn't necessarily call that a runaway. That's just a
There you
missing
go.
persons.
right. But let's be clear, SS didn't give you all the information that she could have, correct?
Initially, no.
Okay. Well, throughout this entire, the first 5-6 months, she withheld information throughout the entire thing, correct?
I wouldn't say 5 or 6 months. What she was trying to do was disguise and hide the relationship that IS had with her uncle and the fact that he was the father of her
Relationship you
child.
believe-
Your Honor, I would ask that the witness.
I need an objection.
Hey Georgia, looking for quality, affordable health
He
insurance?
need to go on
At
the top and
GeorgiaAccess.gov.
then in the wheelchair now.
There are many great plan that meets your needs and
He
budget.
trying to
Open enrollment begins November 1st. Georgia Access. Away.
Sorry, yeah.
So to be clear, it's your belief that Mr. Quiles was having a relationship, but you don't know that for sure.
That's incorrect.
All right.
Through my investigation, I found that they were having a relationship. And in fact, within the first 9 days of this investigation, I've already obtained 2 confessions from the defendant, one from a brother and one from a wire. We didn't stop there. We continued to investigate this further because we want to try to gather all the evidence we can. And we were able to verify a lot of things and get social media stuff.
All right. So, but initially, when she was missing, this wasn't on the media or television, correct?
It didn't get on, I don't know when exactly it came on the media. I believe it started getting on the media just before I got involved.
Which
Excuse
was what
me.
date?
I got involved. I was notified on the 29th of December 2018, and I was officially assigned on the 30th of December 2018.
And before that, the other detective, I believe Porter had it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And isn't it in fact true the family was really upset because this wasn't getting the attention that they felt that it deserved?
I can't testify to what happened before my involvement.
Okay. Even when you got it, isn't it in fact true the family was still upset because this wasn't getting the attention they felt it deserved, right?
They were upset at the entire situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rightfully so. It's a missing 16-year-old girl that no one's seen or heard from,
Thank you.
and she's pregnant. You know, it's a very sensitive situation.
All right. So when you got involved, you reviewed the video, right?
Yes.
From Terry Parker.
Yes.
You see her leaving the school on the video, correct?
Correct.
There's no foul play there, correct?
None.
Okay. She has her book bag in her hand or over her shoulder, correct?
It's got 2 duffel bags.
Okay. She's walking away from the school at the bus area on video, right?
Correct.
All right. You don't know where she went, do you?
At the time, no.
Okay. You don't know if she got in a car, correct?
At that time, no.
You don't know if she got on a bus or went across town or went to visit somebody at that time, do you?
We checked with the bus companies and they weren't able to find any video of her getting on any buses in that area.
Thank you.
Same with the taxi
And
cabs.
she ain't getting no car. She got in his car.
Now, going back to SS, she withheld the information about IS supposedly going up to Georgia to see her grandmother, right?
Initially in her interview with me, she didn't disclose that. It was a second interview when we kind of pressed her for more information about that. And she said, okay, I think she may have gone up there. At this time, we really hadn't determined that IS had been murdered. And so she's still trying to hide this secret
Yeah.
relationship that they had in the pregnancy. And that was the root for her, I guess, dishonesty in the beginning.
Yeah.
As things slowly unraveled, she came around, but she's also 14 at the time. She's scared. She knows what she has to hide. It's normal. I mean, I worked in sex crimes for 2 years, and sometimes it takes a little bit for people to warm up to people. I'm a bald-headed white guy.
So between your first interview and your second interview, how much time had lapsed?
I don't recall. A few weeks. We're still working on leads.
All right. So, but to be clear, she lied to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. She wasted valuable time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she led you, actually, by not telling you what you guys needed to know, she actually led you on a wild goose chase for a good 10 days.
A wild goose chase.
She wouldn't tell you that where IS was supposed to be. She gave you other information that actually pointed you in a different direction, correct?
She did claim that she believed she had went up there, but when she finally came off the truth, what she told us that happened on this Terry Parker video was that IS told her she was going to go to the grandmother's house for a couple of weeks and figure out a way to come home and tell her mother that the defendant was the father of their child. But in doing the due diligence on that, we tried to find her up there twice. We even put her on the spot to do a controlled call with her grandmother.
Right. And again, I mean, this is valuable time of a missing child, as you stated, correct?
Who we now know was dead by the time any of these conversations happened.
You believe she's dead based on what you've put together, but you can't say for sure she's dead, can you?
I believe she's dead based on your client implicating himself twice to her murder.
Say for sure. You don't have a body, do you?
We never found her, sadly, no.
You don't have any blood, do you?
We did not have her blood because the defendant manipulated the scene
Manny.
where he claims to have shot her.
Okay.
Said it was outside a vehicle, shot her, and the blood that was on the ground, he scooped it up to tamper with the scene and get rid of evidence.
Okay. You think you have the gun, but you can't prove the last time that the gun that you
You sure
recovered was
don't.
even fired, can you?
I don't know that anyone can prove the last time a gun was fired.
All right.
It's either clean or it's dirty, and to determine when it was fired is, I don't have that training.
Isn't it in fact true, the gun you recovered, you don't even know if that's the murder weapon either, do you?
No, I don't. We have no ballistics or shell casings to compare. However, The defendant did make statements that the gun he used was still at his home, and we went to the home and recovered one gun.
We'll get to the statements of my client here in just a few minutes. Bear with me, because there's a whole lot more to that. At the very
Bring it.
beginning, Mr. Quiles and his entire family, his wife at the time, were both very cooperative and even assisted, correct?
Correct.
You went out there multiple times to his residence. He gave you free access. You didn't have to get a warrant, nothing. Whatever you guys need, he was willing to cooperate, right?
We went out there once. Every time we went out there to get any kind of property after that, it was under a search warrant.
Okay.
The first time was just to speak, get consent for DNA, and get a background on where he was and where he works.
Okay. And he cooperated with all of that.
Yes.
Okay. So did his wife, correct?
Correct.
And you were aware of JSO officers going in there on multiple occasions when she first went missing, looking for her to see if she had gone there or anywhere else in that immediate area, right?
It's protocol to search the house first before you expand the search.
And is it in fact true, based on your investigation, he voluntarily let them in, gave them free access to anything and everything that they wanted, right?
I don't know about anything and everything, but he did grant them access to search the property to make sure she was not there.
Okay. Now, during the course of you speaking with both Mr. Quiles and his wife, Naomi, you made mention about this, that my client made a comment about 38 pair of underwear being in some backpack or bag, right?
He didn't say that it was in the bag. I was talking to them about her being missing, and Miss Naomi said, yeah, it's crazy because the only thing she took was her prized possession. I don't know what that is. So I'm like, what was that? She was like, she took all of her Victoria's Secret bras and underwear. That's her most prized possession. She's so proud of it. And while she's talking about that, it was then that the defendant said, yeah, 38 pair.
Okay.
What?
So it was Naomi was the one that brought all this up about her prized possession, the Victoria's Secret underwear, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But not how many pairs.
Okay. But isn't it in fact true through the course of your investigation, you came to learn that
Why?
both IS and SS were over at their residence on a regular basis, right?
Yes.
Okay. And she would come over there after school, stay there because her mom worked various hours or would be doing various things. And it was
I don't know.
Kimberly Mobley's direction that IS or SS would go over there, right?
Correct.
All right. So they had clothes there as well as their underwear and other things.
I would imagine if they're going to stay for a couple of days that, and this is true for myself, I'm not going to pack every pair of underwear I own to go spend the night with somebody for 1 or 2 days.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next question.
Now, next you brought up the minivan. You went out there, you searched it, you had an evidence technician go out there and process the vehicle as well, right?
Yes.
No blood, correct?
No blood found in it.
No DNA, and no signs of foul play,
He
correct?
used Clorox.
Matter of fact, the same minivan that you believe was used on the 19th and 20th at the time she went missing, that was driven by Mr. Quiles, you
Thank
can't even
you.
say if that was used in the commission of a crime, can you?
Technically, no.
Okay.
He used Clorox. Like Henry.
Now,
I bet you he did.
I know you're basing this off of what my client is alleged to have said on a wire at the jail, but independent of that, you cannot say Johnathan Quiles actually shot IS, can you?
All I have is his confessions. There's no video on that side of the building. We don't have any ballistics to compare to.
You can't say for a fact that she was shot and killed at Ace Pick-a-Part, can you?
I found no physical evidence to show that other than the evidence of his confession.
Okay.
Get him.
But again, there's no physical evidence that Ace Pick-a-Part is an actual place as a crime scene, is there?
I consider it a crime scene, just like I consider Terry Parker's school where she went missing,
Woo!
the first crime scene,
Get him,
that being the
officer.
second. The third crime scene being the landfill where the dumpster dumped her. And the fourth being her bedroom closet where we found the Don Quay and parsley pills.
Okay, well, we'll get to that here in a few minutes as well. Because this is your theory based upon the totality of the circumstances and everything surrounding it, based on your investigation over a year plus, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, you were shown number 67 on the evidence. Your Honor, may I have Detective Abbott step down forward? Of course. Sir. On number, actually, yeah, we could do that. Okay. I'll have her put it on the overhead to make it easier, Your Honor. Yes. Okay, sure. And just let me know when it comes up on your screen, please.
Sure.
The little secretary lady looks sick today. Look at them. They don't work her brain. Miss Cunningham must be there.
There it goes. Okay. So we're looking at states number 67. Is it on your screen, Detective?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, to be clear, this was about 5 or 6 months after IS had gone missing, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, to the right, you had originally testified on the far right behind that blue fence that that's where the concrete company was, correct?
Yes, the old concrete company.
The old concrete company, and Ace Pick-a-Part had taken that over.
Correct.
All right. Now, at the time that IS actually went missing, part of that fence was under construction at that time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you went through and you reviewed the video and you saw Mr. Quiles in his red minivan, and it was going back and forth off to the left in an area where people were wondering why he might be going over there, right?
I only saw it go back there once on the 19th. Other than that, every time it pulled into the parking lot down here, it turned south to park. And he would always back in over here. And one time he backed in over here. I guess he was backing in over here, not here.
Okay. But on the 19th and 20th, if he went over to the other side, that area was still under construction. There was work being done over there. So he would have had a legitimate reason to go over there, right?
Of course, this is part of the property. And in fact, on January 8th, that's where we made contact with him working on a fence.
Okay.
He had rights to the entire property as an employee there doing many different tasks.
Right. But on the 19th and 20th, where there was questioning why would Mr. Quiles be going over there, he was actually, as you stated, even on the 8th. He was going over there, they were working on the fence, and that area was still under construction, and that was also a storage area for Ace Pickup Park, correct?
There go your
I don't know if
answer.
it was a storage area or not. It may have been.
You-
But the only time I've ever seen him go back there was that one time on the 19th. And that was when he returned from where he was gone.
Did you review part of the video where he was using a loader and he was picking up vehicles and moving the vehicles?
I did see him go that, but only in the van did he ever go back there once that I was able to see.
And I'm referring also with the loader where he'd go over there, pick up cars that were being stored over there.
Yeah, he would come back and forth with loaders moving vehicles.
Okay, as well as he swapped out the forks for a bucket and he would have picked up rock and lime and stuff like that to fill in.
Rock, lime, dirt.
Okay. So him going back and forth to that area is and was not uncommon at that time, correct?
Correct. But this is a part that, like he said in a confession, a remote area where customers are not allowed to go, where there's not a lot
Get
of
him,
people working.
DK. Get him.
All right. Now, is that the same area where you went with the canine?
This was one of the areas we also went with the canine, yes.
Okay. And the canine actually alerted on a blue GMC, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was there any other vehicle that it alerted on?
There were other vehicles out in the main lot as well as the car crusher. Back here, the GMC, I believe, was the only one it alerted to, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And
The one that I was present to observe. I didn't follow him around the entire property the entire time he searched.
he
Why?
was there several hours.
He was there several hours, yes.
If I remember right, like 5 or 6, right?
I don't know for sure how many hours. I know he was there for several hours over 2 different days.
Okay. And again, this is a large piece of property, 20 plus acres?
At least.
Okay. Now,
Yeah, one
on
of them
that blue
cars, yeah.
GMC, when the vehicle alerted on that, isn't it in fact true that blue GMC, you were advised, wasn't even on that property during the December 19th and 20th, correct?
I don't remember being advised of that.
Okay. So the Lindros brothers didn't tell you that that vehicle had just come in after being processed from a different crash scene?
I don't recall, but a lot of these vehicles are crashed vehicles, and there's blood and human fluids in a lot of these vehicles from the crashes. And the dog would alert on all of these scents, like the mercury where we got the tissue with the blood on it, things like that.
Okay. And to be clear, out of all of the vehicles that you guys were ever the dog alerted and all the vehicles you guys processed, none of those came back to having DNA of IS, right?
Correct. But
And
you also have to remember his statements were that he shot her outside of a car, not in a car. So, learning that after the fact. At the time, we didn't know. We're looking at everything, and everything is, suspect until proven otherwise. But
what day were you out there with the dog?
the 8th and the 10th.
Okay, same time you were doing the wires, right?
The wire came on the 9th.
Get him, detective.
There was actually more than one wire, right?
Your objection, improper. If we need further discussion, I would ask for that.
What happened? Where's she going? What, they getting a break? They break. Don't start that break mess now. They will put me to sleep. Yeah, he trying to he trying. You know what? It go back to what you said, Abdul. Did they check where he said to fix all the holes under the fence? And then they brought it up soon you said that. That man shot that girl, told him that he shot her on the outside. I ain't know all that. Shot her on the outside. So when did he tie her up? He did something with that red tape. The red tape, y'all. Did they find red tape? Did nobody mention that? I wonder, did they find red tape? Mm. Wonder did they find red? And then he said blood in most of them cars. That's a trip. Shoot. And then he done went and smashed the car real quick. Ooh, Lord have mercy. That girl went in the 10th grade and he 32 and she in the 10th grade. Lord have mercy. Help me, Jesus. Oh, Lord. I can't wait till Naomi testify because he got too much on. He got too much time on his hand with. Why he not at work while the girls at the house with the baby? Yeah, but why is he at the house? If he gonna be at the house, then the little
I'm going
girl,
to take a
the
break.
girls
I
don't
got to
need to
work
be
this
there.
out with the attorneys outside your presence. It's 10:20. Let's go ahead and take our mid-morning break. While we're on the break, well, I'll tell you about it at the next break. I'll get with you about it at the next break. But before lunch, please remember, don't discuss the case among yourselves or each other. Don't do any independent research. I'll see you back at 10:45.
They break too much for me. I'm gonna be going to work when they get ready to come in with the good stuff. Wow, that boy don't. Hey. See, Naomi is going to testify, but on whose side though? It would it be the defense?
All right, the jury's outside are present. Detective Abbott, I'm sorry. It's my fault. All right, so we're still on the record. Detective Abbott, do you mind stepping out? Sure. You can feel free to get your steps in.
You need to go so you can get on back in too, Judge.
We're still on the record. I have counsel for the state defense and Mr. Quiles present. The reason why I went ahead and gave the jury a break is that it became obvious at sidebar that it would be longer than a 2-minute conversation. So rather than having it done at sidebar, I figured we'd do it in open court and maximize the jury's break at that point as well. So the state made an objection to the defense asking about another wire. I don't have any knowledge of a second wire or
Me
a
either.
first wire, however you phrase it. So yes, sir, Mr. Davis.
Judge, in the context, there was 2 wires, is our understanding, that were provided. First wire, nothing of huge relevance or value came out of it, but there's still a second wire. My question is to the, Detective Abbott is, there was 2 wires. You didn't get anything out of the first wire, so therefore you went in with a second wire during the course of your investigation. That is not improper. That is not self-serving hearsay. That goes to the facts of his investigation, Your Honor.
Hey,
Yes, Your Honor, the state completely disagrees with the assertion by the defense. The first wire, there is limited amount of statements that the state believes, of course, is damning. However, most of it is involving denials. The state has told the defense that we were not going to elicit that wire, that it was self-serving hearsay, that could not be brought up, again, because it's self-serving hearsay. And I even asked the defense, are you going to try to elicit this during the trial? Because I said, if you are, I want to vet it before it's brought before the jury. Based upon my
conversations with them, they didn't say that they were. And so that's why I didn't bring it before the court. So they knew the state's position on this matter, and then he went and did it anyways. So I do have an issue with that based upon our conversations off the record. But it is the state's position that it is hearsay for the defense to elicit that testimony, the same as any soul serving.
That's right.
The fact that that wire was mentioned, and they are trying to elicit soul-serving hearsay statements. Oh, you didn't get anything on the first one, so let's go to the second one.
Yeah.
Again, Your Honor, it's completely improper. There's no hearsay exception for the defense, and we ask that the objection be sustained.
They did say that now.
About the contents of the wire?
Oh, Your Honor.
Well, you just told me that you're implying that you went from a first wire to a second wire because you got nothing useful from the first wire. Doesn't that imply the contents of the first wire?
Judge, if he didn't get what he needed in his investigation, then that's why they went to the second wire,
You can't do that.
or why he went to a second wire.
Okay, I'll see you guys back in 10 minutes.
But see, he can't do that because that's what they were fussing about yesterday. They said they didn't want to use that wire. Now that the boy didn't get nothing out of that wire, now he want to use the other wire, but they didn't want to use that other wire. Come on now. Come on. He said the state is correct. Yesterday they didn't want to use it. And I was like, why they don't want to use the wire? See, one of what we were saying yesterday, y'all remember y'all said one of the wire was from the inmate and the other wire was from the brother. They said they didn't want to use it because one of them, they said that the one, it's not saying, they lied and said it wasn't him. They said they didn't sound like Johnathan, so they dismissed that one. Now they want to use it because Johnathan losing. Man, these folks a mess. I don't get them, state. Y'all, this gonna be good. Ooh-wee. Dudley, you got to keep us up on it now because they probably gonna do it, play it while I'm at work. So I can't see it while I'm at work. But boy, this thing, huh? And the judge got to go back there and read some notes and start taking all these breaks because he got to know what to say. But I can't believe that the defendant, y'all. I can't believe that what the defendant just said. Yeah, I can't believe what the defendant just said. He said, well, we couldn't get nothing out the first one, so we gonna get it out the second one. No, you can't do that when you declined the first one. Well, I don't get that, y'all. They the one that want to use that informant. They didn't want to use the one he was the wiring he was talking. Now they don't lost and it didn't gain nothing from the other wire. Now they trying to use, you can't, once you make that challenge that you don't want to do it, you can't go back and you can't go back and change it. So they should have kept it like it was. That's their fault. Over there listening to Johnathan, they gonna lose a whole lot. He acting like Henry Dinkins over there, telling the attorney what to do. Oh, no. And he writing that letter to that baby, to that 10th grader, like she 28, 25 years old. He was 32 when he did that. He's supposed to be locked up. He's supposed to be locked up in statutory rape. If he messed with her at 10, in the 10th grade, I meant to say. Man, there's some bull mess right here. There's too much going on in that family. Too much going on in that family. There's a squirrel up on the side of my roof. You know how to get out from up there, tearing up stuff. What y'all thinking? What y'all? What y'all? Let me get the mic on. Let me invite somebody. Anybody want to come up here and talk about what's going on in this courtroom today? I'm gonna drop the link. Let's talk about it. Somebody want to come up and talk about some important stuff, points in this trial? You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I believe the state is gonna call. If the state don't call the boy next door up there, the boy next door move because of Johnathan. I bet when he killed that girl, either he moved, either Johnathan made him move before he killed that. We got to find out with that boy stay next door. When did he move out that house? That's why I need to go back and listen to the mama. What made him move? If he moved, he knew Johnathan knew he was going to unalive young. So the one who moved know what's going on with Johnathan and Ayanna, because he constantly speak about Ayanna and dude who stays next door, who is Ayanna age. He constantly talks or speak on that dude. And then when the police, when we looked to watch the video with the officers, when they locked him up, he brought up the guy next door name again. He said she messed around with him. He don't like that dude. That dude need to come to court. They need to subpoena him to come to court. Because we need him. If we get him, we can determine when did he take her out. Well, we know the school can tell us that. Looking at the school video, he had to meet her and picked her up. So did he meet her at Wendy's? Somebody need to go back and get some videos. Somebody need to get some witnesses in there, good witnesses. Hope he didn't get rid of that boy. See, I'm concerned about that boy. I'm concerned about that boy. And they not bringing. They need he need to come to court. Because all we know, he could have got rid of the boy and then decided to get rid of her. Who knows? See, we got to think. We got to put everything together with Johnathan. Johnathan is the little. He seems like to me he done this. He done something similar to this before. Because I ain't heard no more about that boy, and she loved that boy. Yeah, she loved that boy, right? That dude. She loved him, and what's name don't like him. He already said in the love letter that he was gonna get rid of her. I don't know why he had to keep, but I don't know. Ayanna supposed to be on the honor roll. Now the youngest sister, he did her wrong. I knew that. I know he did her wrong, but she was just so young-minded. He couldn't deal with her. He had to get somebody who was much mature than the youngest sister. See, the youngest sister, he thought that the youngest sister was prettier than the oldest sister, but the youngest sister acts so young because she is young. So he knew he couldn't mess with no little girl. So he had to go to somebody in the 10th, a little older, step up. I don't understand. I ain't never seen nothing like this with with two girls and not neither one of them telling their mom what happened. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Usually one will be a telltale, but neither one of them was a telltale because they ain't told nothing. I'm curious about that. That's on my mind too. But if he decide to use the wiring, y'all, it's still gonna mess them up. Both of those all them wirings getting him, he could get in trouble because he's admitting what happened. So it don't matter if they take it. Oh, man, let me get organized, honey. I don't want to get too relaxed. It's that. Minnie, go get in your bed. Go get in your bed, Minnie. Oh, my dogs act like humans. Jesus. Go get in your bed. Yeah, honey. I want to know where that boy is too. Why all of a sudden he moved? Why he get up and move? See, we got a lot to work with. What is this? Yeah, we got a lot to work with here. Johnathan messed himself up. They think that they got to have blood. You ain't got to have blood. You ain't got to have blood. You can have either circumstantial or reasonable doubt. I have reasonable doubt on him. I didn't know he did. I realized this. He talked too much. He telling everything in a written letter. He doing everything that he don't even supposed to be. It could be slap charges now, y'all. They can put charges on him now. She was in the 10th grade. And the other one was 13. Almost 12, 13. Come on. Shoot, he going to jail anyway. Well, see, he already in jail for it. They just want to get him death. He death penalty. But I didn't know he shot her on the outside instead of on the inside. Where did he do this shooting at? Where in the dark place did he shoot her at? He made that gun silent some kind of way. They need to dig down in this thing mentally. They did with that gun. Something about that gun. Because they already said it was oil in it. Come on, y'all. It was grease. I ain't never heard nobody talk about no gun like that. With oil and all that kind of stuff in it. But ain't he from Mexico? They know how to do a lot of stuff. They so creative. There's a lot going on. And he could have used Clorox. We don't know, to get rid of the blood stain. We don't know. It got to be blood. They test him. They should have tested his hair during that time. His hair and nails. It is. It's so sad because you got two sisters babysitting for their auntie, but you got the daddy at the house. When did the daddy come around? The dad is spending he done did summer after summer with them. And not one time they told their mom. Not one time they told their grandmother. Somebody saw something more than this. It's somebody else in that family got to talk. Or what that other girl talked yesterday. It's our key people. We got to get a key person. It's somebody missing out of this. I know the neighbor boy. We definitely needs to see him. Yeah, I wish they'll come on now, cause I'm getting. But yeah, I want them to play the brother because how all of a sudden the brother gonna say on that wiring that Minnie, go get in your house. Go in your house. Go get on your bed. How is he gonna say that his brother innocent? But then in the text message, it sounded like he had to talk to the police or the detective. God, if I start snoring, I ain't gonna try. I'm gonna try not to snore. I don't know how. I'm gonna. I don't know, but this is crazy. I mean, the little girl, even the baby was young. Oh wait. Mm. We got about 4 more minutes, y'all. Oh, you at work? I do. Your replies coming fast. It's coming fast. They don't need to take. I ain't never seen no courtroom take more breaks than they do. Oh, all of y'all at work. I laugh. Y'all at work. I need to go. I need to go. I leave out of here about 12:30. Y'all. Y'all at work, honey. I'm gonna tell y'all supervisor, y'all on the phone. And I'll have to be there. We really supposed to be there at 1:45. We supposed to be on the street at 1:45. But I usually leave here about 12:30 and then park and wait. I don't get out to 2:45. Here you come, y'all. Y'all at work. Henry, somebody keep pressing Henry shirts. They keep starching his shirt. Somebody's still being nice to him.
Let's go back on the record. Of counsel to the State Defense, Mr.
Why he
Quiles,
keep
present.
playing with that darn tie
Outside our presence. State's objection is going to be sustained.
in his
No reason
belt?
why to bring up.
Hi, Phil
You don't
Swift
get on my
here.
nerves.
This
I don't
is
like
Flex
them
Super
fruit
Glue. Just one single
You
drop
don't-
virtually
if you don't
welds
put that
itself to
tie
the
on and
surface
start
and
taking
can
it off.
easily lift over 3 tons. Get the new Flex Super Glue because it works.
Yes, sir.
Just for the record, over objection.
I bet this squirrel better not be tearing up my inside of my. I need a broom or something to hit that wall. Come on, Jet. 10:45. Ah, have mercy. They too slow for me. I wish they'll come on. They're taking them so long. Somebody talking. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what's going on. I don't hear nobody. Hold on. Let me make sure I got it. Oh, shoot. I got it
That
on
was
me.
on December the 19th, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir, the 19th.
Okay. Now, you had also testified that the distance from Ace Pick Apart up to Fastenal is about, what, 18, 20 miles?
No, I never testified to the distance between Ace Pick Apart and Fastenal, but I drove the distance, and I believe it takes 7 minutes to get up there and about 7 or 8 to get back. It's like approximately 15 minutes round trip. It's not very far.
14.
Okay. If you're going by interstate, it's a little longer by Main Street. Would that be accurate?
It would be a little bit longer by Main Street, but again, all things are dependent upon traffic. The north side is a lot busier now than it was 5 years ago.
Right.
So,
And
5 years ago, it's potential a lot faster because of less traffic. But again, it would all just depend on that day and time.
Right. And a lot more construction as well.
Yes.
Okay. And is it in fact true the distance from like Terry Parker up to the airport area is about 20 miles then? Give or take.
Give or take, maybe. I checked times, not mileage.
Okay. And if you were going from Terry Parker up to the airport, about how much time did it take you?
It's 20 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes.
Okay. Again, that was by the interstate at that time as well, right?
I took the interstate, yes.
Okay. Now, after that, you said that Joseph Quiles, his brother, called in and gave a tip, right?
Correct.
And that is what changed your investigation from a missing person to a homicide based on what the brother advised you, right?
That and the fact that the day before we have his DNA found in the crotch of her underwear.
Okay, well, since you brought that up, let's go to that. The DNA that was found in the crotch of her underwear isn't in fact true. You don't know whether it is based on skin cell or whether it's based on serology, do you?
No.
Okay, and it was inconclusive and unable to be determined by your own FDLE, correct?
On which one it was, yes, but it did belong to him.
Okay,
They just can't tell us what type of DNA it is.
so the mere fact that it could have been a skin transfer from him picking up her underwear and putting it into a bag or giving it to her since she was staying over there and maybe his wife washed it and there was a skin transfer, you can't be sure how his DNA got there, can you?
I can't really testify because I'm not an FDLE analyst that does biology on, I was told that it was closer to serology than skin cells, but again, I'm not the scientist. We rely on their information, but they weren't able to, like you said, tell us one way or another.
Okay. All right. Now, and to be clear, then between that and Joseph Quiles, that's what changed your investigation to a homicide, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then it wasn't long after that, you started searching the Otis Road landfill, forgive me. Correct?
Correct. Well, we have to verify everything that the brother said, obviously, which started with his place of employment with, hey, is there a roll-away dumpster on this property? Yeah, it takes a week to fill it up. Do you have a record when it was picked up? In fact, yes, we do. It was picked up on the 20th, which then led to Otis Road.
I'm going to ask stick to answering my question and not sidetrack, please.
Okay.
So now, Otis Road landfill. In doing the Otis Road landfill, it took a lot of time and effort to coordinate all of that and set all that up, correct?
Correct.
So it didn't just happen overnight and that's why there's a time lapse between around January 9th or 10th, all the way to the 16th in order to coordinate all that and set it up. Would that be accurate?
That is accurate.
All right. Now, out there at the Otis Road landfill, we're not just talking a couple of people, we're talking upwards of 50 to 75, even 100 people a day, right?
Yes. Police.
I'm sorry?
Police officers that were there searching?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So in the pictures where we just see one or two people maybe holding up something, that's not an accurate depiction of the sheer volume and magnitude of the amount of labor, man hours, and work that went into this, right?
Correct. We worked in rotations. It was hot on some days and cold on others, and we're wearing Tyvek suits with masks, helmets, gloves, boots. Very hot. It's very difficult to work in that. So you would send people up 10, 15 at a time to do the searches for about an hour, and they would come down, they would get rid of those suits. The next crew would come in with new suits. So there might be 60 people, but it's not like all 60 people are up there, digging through, searching. Some people are only washing boots. Some people are going back and forth getting waters. Some people are giving you rides to and from the top of the hill. It was a pretty good operation, but we tried to keep the search limited to a few people. Plus, we were switching off with detectives that were right there with them, going item by item. And hey, raise your hand if you see anything that looks weird. I know when I was on top, I personally checked every single pile looking.
Right. All right. Now, the area that you guys were looking was an area where you were advised, it was believed that a pick-apart dumpster would have been dumped in that area, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, were you also aware that in that same area that Goodwill dumps? business goodwill?
Ed Smallfield told us it was the only thing that got dumped out there was construction debris.
Okay,
He's the manager of the Otis Road landfill.
okay. So then it would be a surprise to you that Goodwill and the malls and other areas also dump there.
That would be a surprise because that goes against what the manager told us.
All right. And even with a pick apart that goes into their dumpster, there's clothes from vehicles that were wrecked or salvaged or whatever, right?
Correct.
Now, the bras and panties that were provided to you or that were recovered out there at the landfill, you can't say definitively that those were IS's, can you?
No, the DNA that was recovered on certain of those items was not enough to be conclusive.
And you can't even say that they were the correct size either, can you?
Some of them were of different sizes. There was one pair in particular. Most of the things that came out of there were super dirty, as you can imagine. But the one pair of underwear that we described, black, white, pink, from their Valentine's Day collection from 2016, that was a cleaner pair of underwear that had come out of all of this, which also matched pairs that IS's mother and aunt had bought. They went together to buy all three pair.
And the pair that was recovered wasn't the same or the correct size though, was it?
It was small. I believe it was the same size.
Okay. Now, the book that was recovered that said Terry Parker on it, you don't have any knowledge if that was in fact IS's book or somebody else that was recovered out of a vehicle or dumped there.
I called the school to see if they had a record of that. And I gave them the numbers off the barcode for Terry Parker. And they said that the book was not in their inventory, but they said that they have books that students can borrow and have and take and return without, keeping an inventory of it. So I can't definitively say that it was or was not.
Okay. As part of your investigation, you did a complete cell phone dump of Johnathan Quiles as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there was nothing specifically connecting Johnathan Quiles to IS, right?
The only thing that I found when I searched her name and number, there's a search option that does a master search of the entire device. And the only thing that linked to him from his phone dump or to her from the phone dump was her contact.
Now, you had brought up that there was a 2-year gap in there between, I believe, 16 and 18 where there's nothing on the phone, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you speaking with Mr. Quiles, isn't it in fact so? He advised you that during that 2-year gap, he was using a different phone, an iPhone at that time, right?
He told us that he had recently got a new phone. But if you compare that to the records, everybody knows when you get a new phone, they transfer all your data to the new phone. However, you see information on the phone from 2016, then there's a gap, and then it picks back up at 18 with a 2-year period missing from phone calls, texts, and location data.
Okay. And me not being a tech guy, Android and iPhone, though, don't interact well with each other, do they?
I don't know. I'm not.
Okay. So if he was using an iPhone, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything would transfer over or be able to be found on that.
I can't say if it would or would not.
Okay. So, but he did advise you he was using an iPhone though, right?
I don't recall him saying iPhone. I recall him saying I got a different phone.
Okay. And do you recall him telling you that when that phone broke, he went back to using this backup phone until his new one was coming in?
He may have said that.
Okay. So it wasn't like he was trying to hide the last 2 years or and wipe it out. It was just he was waiting on another phone then, right?
You're saying speculation.
Sustained.
All right. All right. Now, about the same time that IS went missing, there was also, when it did finally make the news, there was a couple of people that called in, right?
Yes. It's typical with a lot of missing persons cases that make the news.
Okay. And these people called in with information as to where they believe they had seen IS after she went missing. Would that be accurate?
The tips were more like, hey, we saw a girl that looks like it might be her. It's over in a park, or it's over in Azalea Ridge Apartments. Just different tips coming in like that, yes.
Okay. And I believe your testimony on direct was JSO doesn't send anybody out right away to check on that. It's relayed, and it can be several days before somebody actually follows up. Is that accurate?
That isn't far from accurate. What I said was sometimes we get the tips several days after. That sometimes when they call in, it could be a couple of days afterwards when they're calling us in. Hey, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, yesterday I saw her in this park or walking down this street. Well, in instances such as that, it's easy to vet those quickly because obviously the person's not still going to be walking through the park a day or 2 days or 3 days later. But the ones that were close in time frame that we could quickly get out there, we did send detectives out to search for video, to look for people, anything that might corroborate the tips. But everything that we ever tried to do, we never found anything.
Okay. Now, you also testified on direct about the pill bottles, the Yahweh, and the parsley.
Correct.
Now, what dates did you go out there and retrieve those items?
I was contacted April 2nd about that. And as soon as she called me that night, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And Detective Guthrie and I were working that night because we were on call. I'm like, let's go out there, let's get crime scene. And we went straight there to see the stuff and collect it.
Okay. Now, were you aware in speaking with Naomi Quiles that IS and SS would use her computer to order things through Amazon?
No.
They didn't tell you that?
No.
SS didn't tell you that?
SS didn't tell me that, and neither did Naomi.
Okay. And so when the pill bottles were located in April, in the same room that SS was still staying in, it had been 4 months that had been sitting there, and SS never bothered to tell you, right?
Correct.
Okay. And both SS and Kimberly Mobley had access to those, correct?
Correct. But Kimberly Mobley, when I talked to her that night, she had never seen it before. She didn't know what it was. She said, and like I said before, SS was kind of slow to warm up and start coming off of information, just trying to hide all of this stuff still. And she told her about it. That's when she immediately called me. I was like, look, nobody touched anything, but obviously she did touch it because we found her DNA on it, on Miss Mobley's DNA from her picking it up, trying to read what is this? What is he giving her?
And that was Kimberly Mobley's DNA was the only one found on it, correct?
Correct.
Now, as part of your investigation, you also learned of Kamar Humphrey, right?
Yes, I did.
Did you have a meeting with him?
I never met with him, no.
Okay. So you never followed up on his alibi either, did you?
His alibi?
Yes.
So the incident with Kamar Humphrey took place in March, 9 months before she went missing. And in all the cell phone dumps and social media and everything, iCloud, everything that ever came back, nothing ever pointed to him. There was no communications. There was no plans to get away and get married. None of that. Everything that I had pointed to the defendant, not to Kamar Humphrey. It's not that he wasn't investigated.
He's not responsive to my specific question.
To your own question and his.
No, I'm objecting the witness is non-responsive and not answering the specific question. He's going off.
That's cross-examination.
I had no need to interview him because none of the evidence pointed to him.
Okay, so you can't say for certain that he didn't have access to those Snapchats, right?
No.
You can't say for certain who had access to those Snapchats and who was communicating with IS or SS, right?
I think the messages speak for themselves. Kamar Humphrey doesn't have a daughter named Nia.
Okay, but there's multiple people in there and looking at those Snapchats that you were reading off. Several of them are actually talking about Johnathan Quiles and his family and his kids, right?
I didn't read any of those off.
Okay. And but again, you don't know where Kamar Humphrey was on the day IS went missing, right?
Correct.
You don't know if Kamar Humphrey was still having a sexual relationship with IS at the time, do you?
I believe he was not.
That's your belief.
After the allegation, he kind of disappeared and got away from that family to avoid that entire situation at all. But like I said, in all the evidence that I found, nothing ever pointed to Kamar Humphrey.
So he disappeared around the same time that IS disappeared, right?
No, he disappeared right after the allegations in March, 9 months prior to her disappearing.
Okay.
But that investigation continued. It was a special assault investigation.
You say he disappeared in March, but wasn't he in fact here in Jacksonville on Christmas of?
When I say disappeared, I meant he left the house where he was staying across the street from IS and went to stay elsewhere in Jacksonville with family.
Okay, but you don't know if he was still having an ongoing relationship with her, do you?
I found no messages or any evidence of that, no. However, in September, she would be 16 and he would be 20 or 21 still. In the state of Florida, that relationship would then be legal.
Okay, but he was already a sex offender at that point, right?
I don't know what date he became a sex offender.
Okay. Back to the Snapchats that you were testifying to. The images that were on the Snapchats, several of them the state pulled up for you. None of those images were that of Johnathan Quiles, were they?
No.
In the Snapchat, none of those images were of Mr. Quiles' family, were they?
No. On those particular messages, no.
Right, the ones you just testified to for both yesterday afternoon and this morning. Now, in addition to that, you made comments about actual people, right?
Correct.
Okay. And those were not a depiction of Mr. Quiles and IS together, were they?
No.
And again, IS had 3 different accounts, right?
Yes.
Okay. But the one that was of interest was the Princess 400, 46, and the XS Ayana, right?
Correct. I did warrants for all three, though, to obtain the data from all three.
Right, but those were the two that were seen where the messages were going back and
Where
forth.
they are communicating back and forth, yes.
Okay. You don't know who created these Snapchat accounts, do you?
The Snapchat log shows that they were created using her email address.
Okay, but you don't know who created it.
Correct. It could have been Johnathan or IS.
For all you know, it could have been me, right?
Did you know her email address then?
You don't know who actually was texting between the accounts, do you?
I attempted to get their IP addresses for the logins to see if that was, but I was too late on that. I did that after the fact. I should have did that earlier, but that's something that I didn't realize I could do. And by the time I attempted to get that to determine locations for that information had already been purged. But as we can see in some of the other things that some of the other snaps that were screenshot that I read off, they're in the same house while they're snapping things. For example, where he said, "I'm going to sneak a kiss."
Okay. How do you know they're in the same house?
That's what the message said.
You're speculating as to that, though.
The message said we're in the same house.
Okay, but you can't say for sure at that point in time that was Johnathan Quiles at the house or if it was someone else, can you?
The message says uncle.
And for all you know, actually, with the animosity of Kimberly Mobley, she could have been fabricating this and putting it on IS's Snapchat just to plant the seed there so he'd be arrested, right?
Your objection speculation.
Sustained.
On the videos that were on IS's account, you don't know who those people were in them, do you?
No,
You don't know if they were her friends, do you?
I don't believe they were. It looks like stuff off the internet.
Okay,
They weren't any of the friends that I met and spoke with.
all right. And you can't say for certain, again, who put those images up there, right?
They came from that account, the Princess 40046 account.
Right. But you don't know who put it up there.
I think the messages kind of speak for themselves on who's talking in those messages.
Right. Judge, may I have a second?
Now that's me, Michelle. Hey, y'all just that me, Lucy. Joe do Joanne. Oh, wait. Yeah, I leave out every morning at 5. I got to go back. Some of y'all at work. See, I got to go back to work. And they slow.
No further questions, Your Honor.
See you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The rest of your day.
Thank you.
They call our next witness.
Naomi Mobley, Your Honor.
Oh, y'all. Naomi coming. Is this her? Is this the sister? This the sister, y'all. Here come her auntie. I think.
Members of the jury, we'll probably take a lunch break after
Here you go.
witness. I'll have some updates for you regarding scheduling that we can discuss at that moment as well. saying pens by the state of Florida aren't very good. Ma'am, good morning to you, ma'am. Come over here to your right. Please watch your step as you come forward. If you need a glass of water, let us know. Mr. Gray will certainly accommodate that request of yours.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If there's an objection made during the course of your testimony, I just ask that you pause, let me rule on the objection, and we'll go from there, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can manipulate the microphone to help you project your voice. And with that said, state you may inquire. You're ready.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. May it please the court, and good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Would you state your name for our record, please?
My name is Naomi Mobley,
Ma'am, will you spell your first name?
Naomi.
And where do you live, ma'am?
I live in Springfield.
How long have you lived in Jacksonville, Florida area?
The majority of my life. It's going to be about 43 years on and off.
Now, Ms. Mobley, I want to direct your attention back to the time period of 2017 to 2018. Who did you live with at that time?
I lived with my then husband and our daughter.
All right, and your daughter's initials, please.
NQ.
Why she
Now,
talk like that?
when you say your then husband, for our record, would you name who that was?
Johnathan Jacob Quiles.
And would you spell that middle name?
Jayco.
And do you see Johnathan Quiles in the courtroom right now?
I do.
Will you describe where he's seated in an article of clothing that he's wearing?
He is seated to the right of his defense attorney, or to the left of her. He has his hair in a ponytail, blue shirt, and glasses on his face.
Ma'am, Your Honor, may the record reflect that you've identified.
So reflected.
Ma'am, how long were you married to the defendant? Approximately.
Prior to his arrest?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to his arrest was 5 years, and after his arrest, it was probably another year or two before the divorce was final.
At one point between 2013 and 2018, did you and the defendant and your family live on East 16th Street?
Yes,
Is that Duval County?
yes,
At what point did you move to another residence at 528 Trout River Road?
yes.
And when did that move take place?
In April 2018,
Who was living in the household during that early to mid portion of 2018?
just myself, him, and our daughter.
And how old at that time approximately was your daughter?
She was 3 at that time.
Was that 528 Trout River address also in Duval County?
Yes, sir.
And with respect to those were single family dwellings, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the jury's seen those. We won't run through any photographs. When you moved in April of 2018, at some point in time, either before or after that, did you become pregnant?
It was after.
All right, and approximately when did you become pregnant?
I was aware that I was pregnant in June 2018.
And throughout that point from June of 2018, moving forward up until December of 2019, did you have nieces that would come over and assist you and your family?
Yes.
And would you tell us who that they were?
Me too.
You want their full names?
You can just use initials.
IS and SS.
And what, in general, would be the purpose of them coming over to assist, like specifically for what?
They would come and help assist with my daughter while I was at work, or just assist, spend time with me.
All right, and because you mentioned your work, will you tell us at that time where you were working?
When we moved to the Trout River world, I started working at my current job where I am now,
Where's that?
at Citrus Transport.
What do you do there?
I am a driver, recruiter, and coordinator.
And prior to when you took that job in 2018, what were you doing prior to that?
I was driving trucks.
Did that require you, on that first job, prior to becoming pregnant, you to be gone on the road or driving a certain period of time?
Yes, I typically took loads that would have me to start my morning just after 2 a.m.
Long days?
Yes,
And during that time period, when you were gone during those days, would you have your nieces come over and help with your daughter?
yes,
Is there a time period where your then husband broke his leg?
yes, he broke his femur.
And approximately when was that?
This was around August or September. It was August 2017.
All right. And was he incapacitated for some period from the middle or late 2017 moving forward?
He actually recovered quite quickly. He was down for about 2 months, and then around October 2017, he was cleared to go back to work.
All right. And just to encapsulate that whole period of time from mid 2017 all the way through 2018 in your pregnancy, were your nieces coming over to assist you, your family, your husband, or a combination thereof?
Yes.
When they would come over, would it typically be like weekends or would it be throughout the week? Could you explain like a general time period they would come over?
If it was during the summer, then it could be throughout the week as well as the weekend. And then during the school time, it was just during the weekend.
Now, was there another child that was also sometimes come just briefly with the initials of KM?
Yes.
And just in general, who is that?
That is their younger brother, my nephew.
And approximately how old was he at that time period, 2017, 2018?
At that time, I believe he was 8 or 9.
So would the nieces come with him as well at times?
At times, yes.
Would the nieces come just the two of them at times?
Yes.
Would SS ever come there alone?
She has come alone.
And what about IS? Would she come there and stay alone?
IS came alone more often than SS.
She was the main babysitter.
Now, just in the first address in general on East 16th Street before you moved, will you give our jury an indication of where you recall SS and IS sleeping when they came over to your home?
They would sleep on the sofas in the living room.
And would they sleep on the couches or the sofas in the living room together?
Well, there were 2 separate full-size couches.
Now, again, during that time period, would you be gone during the evening hours?
There were many times more so it would be in the early morning because, like I said, I like to start my trip where I would wake around 2, and by 3 in the morning, most of the time I was gone.
Now, fast forwarding to the Trout River, April or so, 2018, move to that address, where, if you would, describe for our jury where they would sleep in that house.
We had an extra bedroom that would have been for my daughter, but since she didn't sleep in there, they would sleep in there.
All right, that was the next question. Where would your daughter sleep?
She would sleep on her mother's chest.
Now, with respect to IS, you mentioned she would come stay there alone, and you said more than SS. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you give our jury an understanding of approximately how often she was coming and staying alone?
It would be at least once a month.
And over that time period of 2017 and 2018, for those a year and a half, would that be something that was happening every single month? She'd come over, stay by herself?
Yes, consistently.
You said consistently?
Yes, sir.
And left him there with her. And he at home. Why he can't keep his own,
Now,
baby?
Ms. Mobley, would she come as often as needed at your request?
It would be a combination of at my request and also at her asking.
And would the general purpose of her coming and staying in your home be to take care of you
It would mainly be to look after my daughter and to take that load off while I was at work.
And again, just so we're clear, once you were in the second
This year
trimester, you were
was.
also pregnant.
Yes, I found out that I was pregnant in June.
And was that an easy pregnancy for you?
No, neither of my pregnancies were easy.
You need the help of your niece.
Yes.
Did you continue to work from 2017 through 2018, even after you became pregnant?
Yes, I did until I was put on bed rest.
Looking back, so if you could tell us approximately, first with respect to SS, how often over that year and a half do you think she'd be along?
I don't know how often she was along for the time when I was away and she was at the house along with her sister. But anytime she came by herself, I would be gone. And again, I don't know how often my daughter was not in the same room as them. So
Same questions, would your answer be the same with respect to IS?
yes, it will.
Did you ever find out or observe or see or have personal knowledge about how your then husband was communicating with your two nieces?
Yes, I found out that his primary way of communicating with them was via Snapchat.
What do you know about Snapchat?
Well, what was made aware to me was that the messages in Snapchat would disappear on their own without you having to delete them.
And I'm not asking you now looking back, but at that time, did that have caused you any concern or create any concern for you during that time?
At that time, it did not. I just figured that that was their way of communicating with their uncle. They had my way of communicating with me and them. We were texters.
That was my next question. How specifically would you communicate electronically with SS and I?
We would text.
How would you communicate with the defendant from 2017 to 2018?
We would text.
That exclusively?
Yes, I didn't I could not get into Snapchat. I tried it out for the little fun face features, but it was just, I didn't see the point.
Now, ma'am, was your then husband's phone number at that time 904-568-1617?
Yes.
Was there a time period where you learned that IS became pregnant?
Yes.
When did you learn of that information?
It was December 3rd, 2018.
Now, we've heard a lot about it, but just to sort of ask you to summarize for us, in early of December 2018, was there some sort of family disagreement about that?
Yes, the family disagreement happened via text message that was sent by my older sister. And we had a group messaging that we would do. And the defendant, my then husband, was included in that texting stream. And my sister had stated that Jose was in fact Johnathan, and that Johnathan was the father of IS's baby. And at that time, it was an extreme disagreement. I was highly upset of the accusation, and my words to them were very explicit. And I finished with, "You don't have to wait for the baby to be born. You can test him now."
Total children does the defendant have?
He has 2 with me, 2 that I know of with another young lady, 1 that I know of with one in New York, and a possible. 5 for sure, and 1 possible.
What would you say you have observed about those 5 that you can tell us?
Well, every single one of his children look like him. And it seems in my looking at them by age that the closer they get to the age of my children that I have with him, the more they look like him.
Was that something that you either expressed or even in a joking manner ever brought up with your ex-husband?
Absolutely. And we both have verbalized that multiple times.
Now, when this family disagreement broke out in text message as a group in early 2018, what, if anything, did you do thereafter with respect to what you told the defendant?
I told him at that time that he needed to stop speaking with my nieces and he needs to give my family space. I said that it looks really bad and he needs to distance himself.
Would you have told him that early December 2018?
It was on the same day that that text happened, which was December 6, 2018.
And would you agree, ma'am, the members of
That's
that
right.
group text were all of your sisters?
Yes, and also the defendant.
And so we're clear, you're one of 5 sisters.
Yes, I am. I'm the middle.
Were all of them on that text?
Yes.
Did the defendant indicate to you, once you told him to no longer see your nieces, did he stop seeing them?
He told me from his mouth that he absolutely would stop talking, speaking, Snapchatting, texting, any form of smoke signaling to my nieces.
Did you learn thereafter whether or not he stopped speaking and or communicating?
I learned after that he did, in fact, continue speaking with them.
Did you learn that through either family functions, talking with your sisters, things of that nature?
Yes, it was, and speaking with my sisters.
Did that upset you?
It did.
Now, ma'am, did you have an Amazon account?
Yes.
And who, first of all, let's talk about that. Did you set that Amazon account up yourself?
Yes.
And who was authorized to use that Amazon account?
Myself and the defendant.
Was this Amazon account password protected?
Yes.
Did you ever share that password with anyone to your knowledge at all?
No.
Did you order items off of it?
Yes.
Did you monitor it on a daily and or monthly basis?
No.
Did you monitor it and look at your statement over time as items came in?
No.
Have you had a chance to look back now as you testify today at items that were ordered on your Amazon account and showed up on your Wells Fargo bank account?
Yes.
And I want to now approach and show you what's remarked in States Exhibit 58 and 59. Ask if you recognize these exhibits. We'll start with the Wells Fargo banking statement, which is States 59. Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
What do you recognize it to be?
Our joint banking account.
And whose name is on that account?
Mine and also the defendant's.
Is there any other name that would be on that account?
No.
Do items appear on your bank statement that came from your Amazon account?
Yes.
All right. And now directing your attention to, I'll remove all the pages in the exhibit and ask you to look at page 2. And direct your attention specifically, ma'am, to an October 5 purchase. Who was that from?
It was Amazon. It was actually purchased on October 4th and it processed in my bank account on October 5th.
And what was the amount of that purchase?
$8.52.
Was there a second purchase from Amazon shortly thereafter on October 10th from Amazon at the bottom of that statement?
Yes. Again, the purchase was on 10/07 and it cleared my bank account on 10/10.
And what was that amount?
$11.16.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I want to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 58. Do you recognize this, ma'am?
I do.
What do you recognize this to be?
This is a screenshot that I sent to Detective Abbott.
And what do each of these two screenshots on this exhibit represent?
One shows a purchase made on October 7th, and the other shows a purchase made on October 4th.
And what specific account screen or screenshot are we looking at?
This is a screenshot that I sent of Amazon.com of a receipt of a purchase, the purchase final details.
All right. And first, let's talk about the one on the left. What was the purchase for the one on the left?
It is Nature's Way Dong K Root.
And if you can you tell us the amount of that purchase on your Amazon account of the Don Quay?
Don Quay, I'm sorry, $11.16.
Does that match on page 2 the exact amount of the charge to your bank statement, $11.16?
Yes, it does.
Will you look down to the right of the exhibit in front of you and tell us what the Amazon account reflects as a purchase in that account?
Solargy parsley capsules,
And on your Amazon account, what were you charged?
$8.52.
And does that also exactly to the penny reflect what's on your Wells Fargo banking statement?
Yes, it does.
Ma'am, with respect to parsley and respect to Don Quay, have you ever, in the entire time period that your account with Amazon existed, have you ever ordered parsley and or Don Quay on that account?
No.
Is the only other person authorized to use that account your ex-husband?
Yes.
Did you ever find either Don Quay or parsley anywhere in your home at any point in time?
No.
Now, when you made specific purchases on your Amazon account, would you do that on either a laptop or a phone or both?
Both.
Did you ever share your password with anyone?
No.
Did the defendant have access to the Amazon account?
Yes.
You ever caught your nieces or a nephew or anyone in your family ever ordering something that you did not authorize on your Amazon account?
Never have.
Did you ever receive any kind of package at your home that indicated it was some type of supplement like this that you did not order? Send it away.
No.
Had you ordered something like this and seen it, would that have surprised you?
Absolutely.
And the jury's heard where it was later found. Did you yourself ever give your nieces either parsley or Don Quay?
No.
Now, ma'am, I want to talk to you a little bit about cars in your family. You give us just a general summary of who drove what at that time period?
Time period in which
December 2008.
I drove, well, when I was working, because December 18th was when I was put on bed rest, I drove a Buick Lucerne, and he would drive the red minivan, the Chrysler.
When you say he, do you mean the defendant?
The defendant.
When you say red minivan, have you had an opportunity to review surveillance video that from Ace Picture Partner in the time period of December 19, December 20, 2018?
Yes, I have.
Have you identified and agreed that the vehicle that we see the defendant driving is the one he drove?
Yes, I did.
Is that the vehicle that he drove on a daily basis?
Yes, it is.
Did you also have other vehicles in your home and or your driveway or your premises?
Yes, we did.
Tell us about those two.
We had a Dodge Durango and also a Dodge Intrepid.
Who drove those?
The Dodge Intrepid was broke down and being brought back to life, and the Dodge Durango he would drive.
Did you make a demand about the number of vehicles that your family was in possession of during that time period?
Yes, I did.
Tell us about that.
I said our house, our yard looked like a parking lot, and I told him to get rid of some of the vehicles.
Do you know the best you can approximately when you told them?
It would have been late December of 2018. I'm sorry.
Did he act on that request?
Yes, he did.
What vehicle did he choose to sell once you made that request?
The Chrysler minivan.
The red one?
Yes.
Was that the vehicle he drove on a daily basis?
Yes, it was.
Did that leave him with the two Dodges left to drive?
Yes, it did. Well, one Dodge because one was broke down.
Did the second Dodge even have enough room for your family when you went places?
If it were just he and myself and our daughter, then we could fit. But otherwise, if we had the nieces and nephews, no, it was only 2 seats in the front and 3 seats in the back.
Were there time periods when you all would go out routinely as a group, including your nieces and nephews?
Yes.
And yet he still chose to sell the red van?
Yes.
How soon did he sell it?
Rather quickly.
Did he sell it in the latter part of the month of December 2018?
Yes.
Shortly after the Christmas holiday?
Yes.
Now, ma'am, I want to briefly ask you about cooking in your home. Will you describe sort of mainly focusing on when the nieces came over, who generally was responsible for that?
Well, he was the cook. 95% of the meals that came through our house were cooked by him. And when my nieces came over, well, in the Trout River house especially, I noticed that he would cook 2 meals.
And did you take note of who he was cooking the second meal for?
He would always ask the kids as a whole what they wanted, and they would always announce what they wanted. But the meals that always won were the meals that IS would say.
Did you ever know your then husband, your ex-husband, to pick up IS and or SS from Terry Parker High School?
Yes, when his son Jaco was attending Terry Parker High School, he would pick the 3 of them up.
And what vehicle would he do that
in? In the van.
The red minivan?
Yes.
Did he ever take him to other places in that red minivan that you're aware of?
Yes, they went places all the time. They would especially go to the beach.
And looking back now, do you have any recollection of whether the defendant had alone time outside the home with IS, and if so, explain?
Well, he had a lot of alone time outside of the house with IS because she was in the process of getting her driver's license. And so he took her to get the mandatory hours. I'm not sure how many hours it was. I believe it's 10 hours or something along those lines that they require you to have in order to go from having a permit to having an actual license. And he was the person who took her in order to get those hours.
When he went with her driving to get her hours, would he do that alone?
Yes, he would.
Did you ever?
No.
Now, for the record, ma'am, is your ex-husband's date of birth April 18, 1985?
Yes.
Now, when the family learned that IS was pregnant, I guess more the earlier part of December 2018, was the defendant upset about that?
Yes, he was.
Explain that.
He was upset because of our reactions. to her being pregnant. As I said, he was on the group chat. Initially, he was just in shock with me in my telling him, but initially we were also in shock and our messages reflected that. But as the shock settled, we began to celebrate the fact that there would be a baby coming. And so that's when I noticed that he was upset because his attitude was her life is ruined. And I knew his stance on abortion because he had mentioned it to me many of times. And I reiterated to him, our family does not have that stance on abortion. It is not the baby's fault. She will be fine, and we are celebrating. He was very much upset at the fact that we were happy that the baby was coming.
And ma'am, when the family made the decision for her to give birth, could you describe what your eyes saw and or your ears heard that made you notice he was upset about IS? Was it words? Was it the way?
It was the words and also the demeanor. This will mess up her life. She has a future. Because we all saw her as the first president, we saw her as a lawyer or judge, we saw many things that she had the potential to be, and we verbalized those things for years. And his idea, his thought was, his words were, this is just gonna ruin her future.
Ma'am, now I want to ask you now, once she went missing, December 19th, 2018, what, if anything, you notice unusual about him, specifically just him, after she went missing?
There was a change in his behavior after she went missing. Prior to that, he was fidgety and nervous and always speaking about the fact that he could not get a hold of his brother. He was restless. After she went missing, then he slept like a baby. And I'm aware of this because I was very pregnant and I was up every hour on the hour to go to the bathroom as he slept like a baby.
Yeah, but I want to ask you just a few questions and approach and show you what has been entered into evidence and marked into your states 31 and 32. First, ma'am, we'll look at states 32. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
That is the layout of Ace Pick Apart.
All right. And would this be the entrance to Ace Pick Apart up near the top of states 32?
Yes, it is.
All right. Is this area what's been described in this trial sort of the cement, the old cement factory area?
Yes, it is.
All right, ma'am, at the top where I'm holding my finger, where you pull into Ace Pick Apart, do you agree with what I think we've all seen in photographs where my finger is, that when you drive in, most employees turn left to go to the employee parking?
After the railroad tracks, you turn left, yes.
What if you go straight?
Then you would be going back to that cement area.
Right. Were there times, ma'am, and leading up to when she went missing that you would go to Ace Pick Apart yourself for various reasons?
Yes, I would.
And would you go, for example, to see the defendant there for lunch?
Yes, I would bring him lunch occasionally.
Now, when you drive into Ace Pick Apart and drive over the train tracks, did you ever go straight and your eyes see the defendant over here with the cement area?
Yes, I met him in that area often.
Did you ever notice whether there was a closed gate there?
There was not at the time.
And had you been there several times?
Yes.
Have you driven back there yourself to meet your husband?
Yes, I have. I've driven back there and I have parked and I have sat and I have watched him work and waited for him to get off the clock and come to me.
Have you seen him, and I'm circling with my finger, this entire cement area, have your eyes seen him work in that area?
Yes, I have.
Where else would you, if you have, would you say that you've seen the defendant work in Ace Pick Apart?
Yes, if you come and go over the railroad tracks, take a left, and come all the way down to where the dead end is. There's actually a gate right there, and I would hand him food through the gate.
Am I pointing at it?
Yes, you are.
So, ma'am, to orient our jury, if you're facing Ace Pickup Park, is this the far left of Ace Pickup Park?
Yes, it is.
The two places that you see him working routinely are the far right, where the cement factory is, or the far left. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Ma'am? While I'm up here, ma'am, say trip back. Do you recall whether your husband would go shoot his firearm at Gun Gallery on Beach Boulevard?
Yes, he would.
Right. Would he do that often?
Yes, oftentimes we went together.
Let's get them likes up, bit dog.
There yourself.
Yes, I have.
And when you go there, do you have to sign in on a sign-in sheet?
Yes, you do.
Would the defendant take his own firearm when he went to shoot his weapon?
Yes, he would.
Was that a handgun?
It was.
Was that the 9mm Ruger?
Yes, it was.
And when you go there with him, would he have to sign in on a sign-in sheet?
Yes.
I'm now showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 39. You recognize that man?
The sign-in sheet with his printed name and also his signature.
All right. What's the date on the top of that sign-in sheet?
December 20th,
Of what year?
2018.
I want you to look closely on the far right under line 10. First and foremost, do we see his printed name?
Yes, we do.
Do we see his signature next to that?
Yes, we do.
Would you read on line 10, what it says next to line 10?
Johnathan J. Quiles.
And what's the significance? What do you notice about that in particular? Does he normally put his middle initial?
Yes, he normally would put his middle initial whenever he printed out his whole name.
All right, and look closely, if you can, at the signature. I want you to look at this jury and tell them, is that your husband's signature on this form?
Yes, it is.
And just briefly, ma'am, do you have an opportunity prior to trial to look at State's Exhibit 31, which is all the surveillance video that was captured of the defendant on December 19, 2018, December 20, 2018?
Yes, I have.
Each of those clips that you reviewed on that exhibit, your ex-husband?
Yes, it was.
Did your ex-husband, have a gun cleaning kit?
Yes, he did.
Your eyes actually saw that, ma'am?
Yes, I did. And he explained to me why he bought it too.
What'd he say? What'd he say, Naomi?
Is your sister Johnathan Mobley's phone number 904-450-0955?
Yes, I do recall that being her number.
And probably one of the last things, ma'am, I want to ask you is this. Geolocation services that tell couples where each are. Did you and your husband share that particular device on your phone?
Yes, faithfully.
Simple, more easy way to put it. Did y'all share location data?
Yes, we did.
Did he have it on all the time?
Yes, we both did.
Did it remain on at all times?
Yes, it did.
If it ever turned off, would that be unusual?
Yes, it would.
With respect to the defendant?
Yes, it would. The defendant and myself.
Now, man, would there come a time after he was arrested that well, let me ask you this way. Did you keep talking to your then husband after he was arrested?
Yes, I did.
Was there a time period where you decided to call him and ask him whether this stuff was true?
Well, he called me.
He had to from the jail?
Yes.
Tell us about that conversation.
There was a time period because things were building up so much. And the point came where he fed me an explanation as to our wash machine and his DNA.
Are you talking about the underwear?
Yes, he tried to give me an explanation as to how his DNA could possibly get in my niece's underwear via our wash machine. After he told me that, I then asked him, tell me the truth. What happened? Tell me the truth.
What was his response?
His response to me was, I want to tell you the truth, but the people listening will take it the wrong way.
That point forward, man, did you begin the process of leaving?
Everything in me at that moment let go. I immediately, after that conversation, went to God regarding my vows, praying that I honored my part in my vows as his wife, because from that moment on, I explained in my prayer that I could not stand by him still and look at myself in the mirror because I no longer believed them.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, one moment. One moment, Your Honor. Couple more minor things, man. Finish up with you. Was there a time period in December where his hair changed, his hairstyle?
Well, he would go from braids to no braids. I know at the beginning of December, I had braided his hair, and towards the
There you go. Okay.
Would that have been December of 2008?
I am
yes,
so
December
sleepy.
2018.
And then will you, if you can remember, estimate when Jake
Mm.
came into your home? When did that happen? The best you can recall.
I believe it was August 2018. It was before the new school year. I believe it was August 2018.
Now, on December 19, 2018, the day IS went missing, do you remember anything about that particular day?
Yes, I remember reaching out to the defendant and telling him my niece did not come home from school.
Yeah.
And
That day, was it your recollection whether he came home at any point in time during that?
no, he did not come home that day. He actually came home later than usual that day as well.
And do you know whether on that particular day, looking back, that his location data had been turned off? The record shows, I'm asking you what you recall about that.
I found out later at a time in 2019 when my sisters all came over to the apartment that I had moved to where we were trying to figure out how IS got from Terry Parker High School, the last lone place that we saw her on the video, to Ace Pick Apart. And so I had no way of knowing, but then I remembered that we have our Google location on. So I said, if anything, let me go and look at the Google location for our accounts. And at that time, I realized that the Google location for my then husband had been erased all the way up until December
What?
20th, December 20th, 2018, when suddenly it reappeared.
Ma'am, and
What?
lastly, did the police later come collect the firearm from you?
Yes, they did.
Was that kept in a closet?
Yes, it was.
Is that where the defendant kept it?
Yes, it was.
Was it up on the top tier, on the upper shelf of the closet?
Yes, it was.
Present when they came to retrieve it?
Yes, I was.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
It's okay. They'll get you new one. Mr. Skinner broke it.
She's so pretty. I don't even see why he did that. She beautiful.
All right, if we could start out.
Lucy.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so if we could start out, could you tell us about the layout of your house that was located on 16th Street?
Yes. If you walk in from the actual front door, you want me to walk through it?
That's fine. Go ahead. Just give me the basic kind of layout of how many rooms it was, and if you want to walk through and tell me, that's fine.
Okay, well, there was a front porch, there's a living room, there's a dining room that was split between the kitchen and the living room, and there was a hall that gave access to the bathroom. And also, at the time that we were there, it would have been 2 bedrooms, but we converted it to one big master bedroom.
Okay. And so you had that one large room that you, Mr. Quiles, and your daughter were all sleeping in, correct?
That's correct.
And then the only other main room that you all had besides like the kitchen and things like that was that living room. Is that correct?
The living room.
And those were in pretty close proximity to each other, correct?
Yes, there was a hall that separated them.
As far as like, hey, I'm sitting in the bedroom, would you be able to hear what's going on outside in that living room area if people are watching TV or something along those lines?
It depends if they're watching TV loudly. We had a lot of get-togethers in that house, and we were able to, in our master bedroom, watch TV on that screen and also have video games going on in the front room, and they wouldn't interrupt each other.
Understood. If you had that door open, would you be able to hear if people were talking and having conversation? Would you be able to at least hear some rumbling of conversation outside of your room?
If I were paying attention, I could.
Right. Thank you. All right. You said that Mr. Quiles had broke his femur. I believe it was you. I think you said August or September of 2017, correct?
That is correct.
And you said he was pretty much back up on his feet around October, sometime in October, correct?
It wasn't 2017, it was 2018 that he broke his femur. No, it wasn't. It was 2017. It was 2017. I was pregnant in 2018. So yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you so much. And I know the dates can get mixed up. So it in fact was October of 2017 that you believe he got back up on his feet pretty much sometime in that month.
That was when he was cleared to go back to work.
Okay. During that time period when he was injured, he was pretty much immobile before he got back on his feet, correct?
He had crutches to use, but immobile, he was very resilient. And even the doctor said that his healing was faster than they had ever seen. So I've never actually seen him incapable of moving.
Okay. And maybe immobile is the wrong word, but he was not moving around like he normally would while he had that injury, correct?
He had a limp.
Okay, thank you. During that time period when he broke his femur, there were people coming and taking care of him at the house from time to time, correct?
Correct.
And that was to help him get to get items for him and things like that, because he was having a little bit of difficulty moving around, correct?
It was actually to take the pressure off of him because I was working and our daughter was there. So it was to help take the load off of him of having to run after a toddler.
Oh.
During that time period, were your nieces part of that group of people who were helping to take care of your daughter and doing whatever else needed to be done around the house?
My nieces were the primary. They weren't part of it. There was no one else that came over to help him except my nieces.
So that time period that we're talking about, September, October, or I guess August through October, your 2 nieces that you described, IS and SS, were at your house quite a bit, helping to take care of things around the house.
Yes.
When he did get back up on his feet, did he go back to work? And specifically, was he working for Sky Towing at that time?
I don't remember which company he was working for. He had several jobs.
In whatever work you can recall him having after that time period, did that require him to work away from the home?
He was never away from the home overnight, but he had to go out just like anyone else at a job, and then he returned.
And would that require him to be gone for most of the day?
When he was at the towing, he was gone during the day, and then when he worked at a contractor, he was gone for most of the day, and there was Ace Physical Part, he was also gone. I mean, like a typical 9 to 5.
Okay.
And did he sometime, of course, work later hours?
Late and compared to what, 9 to 5?
Yes, ma'am. And later than the typical 9 to 5. Did he go into work early, like 8? Did he come home 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night from time to time?
It depends on which job you're referring to.
In general, I just mean in general.
While at Ace Pick Apart, they were pretty much set on their time. And then at the contractor place, that boss pretty much cut them around the same time. And with towing, that would be the only one that would have sporadic where he had to be on call, sometimes for runs that might have been an emergency that he had to go out of town and recover a vehicle and bring it back.
Right. I want to talk to you about your Amazon account and then kind of go on to some other things. The Amazon account, we talked about that. Yeah, I heard what you testified to as far as your memory of ever having ordered something. You don't recall ever ordering Don Quay or parsley on your Amazon account.
I never ordered Don Quay or parsley on my Amazon account.
And the dates that you had provided and looked at on your own Amazon account, that was in October of 2017, correct?
That is correct.
And I believe it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like the 4th and the 7th, right? The very beginning of October, correct?
Yes, it was the beginning.
That would have been the same time period that your nieces were at your house quite a bit, correct?
Correct.
And you stated that you personally would purchase items on Amazon on your phone or on your laptop, correct?
That's correct.
And that laptop that you had was in your home, correct?
That is correct.
And that laptop, there were several people who had access to that laptop, correct?
Yes, it was there at the home. So if you want to pick it up, you can pick it up.
And your nieces, in fact, you knew them to use that laptop on a regular basis.
They like to play video games like most teenagers like to play video games.
And as far as them being on there, when you would order on Amazon, would you sign in every time you went to Amazon, or was that something that was just saved on your laptop?
No, you have to sign in.
Okay, and you said you never provided anyone with your password?
No.
Including Mr. Quiles?
Of course, he had the password. He was my husband.
Okay, you don't know if anybody else had access to it or had that password, correct?
Not by my doing.
Okay, so it's possible that someone else would have had that password. You just personally don't recall ever giving it to anybody.
If he gave access, then that's a question for you to ask him.
And the question is simply, you don't recall ever giving it to anyone, but it's possible.
I did state that. I do not recall.
And it's completely normal to do that, but if you could let me finish the question, that way the record's clear. I will try my best not to overtalk you. If we could do the same, that would be appreciated.
Ooh, look how she looked at Michelle.
Let me go back. Let me go back to the time period. Were you aware of a time period where IS was sexually assaulted by their neighbor? I think he lived across the street.
Yes.
Okay. And was that person known to you as Kamar Humphrey?
I believe that's his name.
You didn't know him personally or had never met him, correct?
No.
Okay. Only thing you knew was that there was this sexual battery that happened around March of 2018, correct?
Yes.
Okay. During that time period, were allegations raised of there being some sort of sexual relationship between Mr. Quiles and IS?
Following Kamar? Yes.
I'm sorry. I was answering your question following Kamar. Yes. Your response to that is?
Yes.
Okay. At that time, in March of 2018, when those allegations came out, did those come from your sister Johnathan?
I don't know who they originated from. I just know that it came from my family.
Did Johnathan express agreement about those accusations?
They never came to me directly.
When you learned of those accusations, did you confront IS or SS or both about any sort of sexual relationship between Mr. Quiles and them?
I asked them at the Trout River location if there had been any type of inappropriate anything. I asked them both together at a time when he was not around because I didn't want any issue to be of feeling discomfort in the event that he was around, and the answer was yes. So I asked them both together.
And there was no sort of admission from either of them at that point, correct?
No, there was not.
In fact, they said vehemently that never happened.
That is correct.
In fact, if there was any inclination whatsoever from them that something had been going on, you would not have stayed with Mr. Quiles, fair?
I would have took myself and my daughter, and I would have left him.
Around that same time period, do you recall there being a falling out between your sister Johnathan and Mr. Quiles?
There was a falling out that was happening all the way around with my family around that time period.
After that accusation came out and you got your assurances from your nieces as to nothing having been going on between them and Mr. Quiles, did IS and SS continue to come to your house?
Yes.
Was that at your request?
No, it was mine. It was if they text and asked if they could come over, I would tell them to ask their mother, and oftentimes they would text and ask if they could come over.
And that was going to be my next question. Did they do that with their mother's permission, come over to your house?
I would never get any of my nieces or nephews without their parents' permission.
So is it your assertion right now today that every time that IS and SS would come over to your house, you were aware of it and your sister Kimberly Mobley was also aware of that?
That is if it happened under my say-so. Now, what happened while I was at work, I can't attest to.
Okay. And let me ask you about that time period when you were working. How long were you working where you were away from the home overnight?
That was in the East 16th house in 2017, and I worked that job. I don't remember how long it was. I know it was past the time of him healing, and I moved out of that job because the tractor that we owned broke.
Okay. And during that time period, you said you were taking jobs, you would leave like 3 o'clock in the morning, you'd be gone.
Oh, well, I had another job after our truck broke to where I was driving as a yard jockey for a company, and I started my shift around 2:30 in the afternoon, and I would finish anywhere around 12 midnight and 2 in the morning. And those were periods of times where my nieces, the girls, would come over and they would help out.
Okay.
Would you like the dates for that time period?
Sure. If you know the exact dates and you can recall, that's fine.
That was after Christmas, the beginning of 2018, up until I started my new job in April 2018.
All right. So I want to ask you about, I'm going to fast forward just a little bit to December 6th. And that was the date that you testified on direct about there being an accusation, once you found out that IS was pregnant, that Johnathan Quiles was Jose and the father of IS's baby.
That is correct.
And that was December 6th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
At that date and time, accusations or allegations that Mr. Quiles was Jose was happening right then and there.
Yes, at that time. That is the first time that I saw.
And that was 2 weeks or so before IS went missing.
Yes.
Did you again confront and ask IS and or SS about that specific allegation?
We found out that they were pregnant, that she was pregnant December 3rd. IS and SS, they never stayed at our house again past November 2018. So at that time, there was no need for me to reach out and ask again because they were no longer coming and staying at our house at that time. When I told him to stop communicating, of course, they weren't at our house at that time.
Okay. So you never did ask IS specifically about this allegation?
I asked her if he was being inappropriate when I asked SS the one time, and that was that.
Okay. And so closer into that December time period, you never had any conversations with your nieces, even if it wasn't at your house, at another location, confronting them about this specific allegation?
The last time my nieces stayed at my house was the most strange time they had ever stayed at my house. And in that time, I decided that I was going to go ahead and take them back early. And when I was taking them back, IS sat in the front seat of the car. She turned her back to me. She looked out the window. She gave me no communication whatsoever. As a matter of fact, IS and SS stayed in the bedroom right across the hall from me and texted me if I could order them a pizza, which is what led to me taking them home early. So at that time, I took them home while he was still at work. That was the last time that they were over the house. And at that time, I had no idea that she was currently pregnant.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me talk to you about Snapchat. You stated that you were aware that Mr. Quiles was Snapchatting and talking to your nieces or whoever on Snapchat, correct?
Correct.
In fact, it wasn't any sort of secret or anything like that. If he was Snapchatting your nieces, he would say, I'm Snapchatting the nieces, correct?
No, he would not say, I'm Snapchatting. Yeah, what is he going to just announce? Hey, I'm Snapchatting my nieces. I never asked who he was texting, who he was snapping, if he was texting, if he was snapping. I did not bother him when he picked up his phone. So there would be no need to announce that he's snapping or texting anyone, including my nieces.
So let me ask it a different way. And it may just be, let me just back up a little bit. If he was on his phone, if you asked him, hey, what are you doing? Would he not tell you, hey, I'm Snapchatting IS or I'm texting whoever? Would it be something that was a secret, or would he tell you, hey, this is what I'm doing if you asked him?
If I asked him, he would tell me what he was doing.
So it wasn't any sort of secret that he kept from you about Snapchatting your nieces, correct?
Correct.
And as far as his use of that, was that strange in some way to you? Or as you testified on direct, did you just view that as the way he communicated with them?
It was extremely strange because you're Snapchatting. I'm like, I had to go and find out what Snapchat was. He texted me solely and they text me solely. So they were still hip to texting. However, that was their platform. So I had no reason at that time to question him as to why you're solely using this with them. But was it strange? Yes, but I tried. I just couldn't. No, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it's strange for you in the sense of you didn't use it.
I didn't use it and I didn't understand why it exists anyway.
Understood. Okay. So Snapchat in general, you just didn't get the point of that.
Yeah, it was a cheater's playground, if you ask me.
I didn't like it either.
But that was something that the kids would use, and he would relate to them in that way, correct?
Yes, correct.
Was he that type of uncle to try and relate to the kids in whatever way that he could?
He was, yes, he was.
Did you ever know him to communicate with another niece of yours, ID?
No, I didn't know that they communicated.
Did you ever at any point in time catch ID and your husband alone together?
To catch would be to be in a matter of being startled. Were there times when they would be in the room or at the house and there was one time when we had to get together because that's the only time that ID came over to the house is if we had a family get together. I remember one time I came in and they were in the room, but I thought nothing of it at that time.
And nothing, as far as you know, nothing inappropriate or anything like that happened in that one time you recall them having been alone together?
I have no idea what happened prior to me entering the room.
She trusted him. She trusted her husband.
All right, let me talk to you about his job. You said that you would go to, and I know we still have this up, you would go to Ace Pick Apart to visit him. You said you bring him lunch from time to time or to meet up with him, correct?
It was to bring him lunch.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
you're
fine.
funny.
And I know you testified on direct that, and when I say him, I mean Mr. Quiles. When you would go to Ace Pick Apart, you said that you would actually drive forward, and this picture is up on your screen, so you can refer to it if you need to. But the part that you're talking about that you would drive into would be straight. If you cross those straight railroad tracks, you would actually go straight into this area that has this.
I don't
opening
like
here and that blue
Snapchat.
fence. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you would see him working over there.
That is correct.
Did you see him working on tires or with tires?
He was in a bulldozer machine, like a big giant Caterpillar type bulldozer machine. He worked in that often.
Okay. Did you also see him repairing or fixing a fence ever over there?
No,
Do you recall him working with any dirt or filling out roads or ruts in roads?
no.
Only thing you recall him being in is in the Caterpillar at some point when you went over there.
Yes, he moved cars and moved, they put stuff in the bucket of the bulldozer thing and he would move wheels and stuff.
Okay, so he did work with tires. I did ask you that earlier. I don't know if you answered that specifically. You would see him working with tires or wheels, however you want to describe them.
Well, I know from him explaining to me, and oftentimes he would video chat and FaceTime with me while he was inside the bulldozer.
And so when you would FaceTime, he would describe his work, basically what
Well,
he was doing.
I could see what he was doing. I could see him and he's moving around and oftentimes he's in messing with wheels. That's what I know. I didn't ask for specifics of, hey, are you getting tires or getting wheels or pulling them apart? What are you doing? All I know is he's moving wheels and tires.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to ask, are you moving wheels right now? That if you could see it, that makes sense. As far as other times when you would go to the work, his job, you would say that there was another part of the fence area that you would hand over lunch or things like that if you had to.
It was chained, and I would just hand the bag lunch through the chain.
Okay, through the chain. All right. And that chain link fence was locked, correct? That's not something that you would go physically walk through.
No, it was chained even during lunch hours, so I'm assuming that it stayed chained all the time.
Meaning that's not an entrance that people would use to go in or anything like that.
No,
It's just an opening where you could hand something through, essentially.
that's correct.
Okay. Not something that you yourself could physically get through, though.
Well, I was very pregnant at that time.
Okay, even if you were thin, would you be able to get through that?
Then, yes, I could.
All right. When you actually would see him there, he was working in the main yard area. He would also be working on that outside area that we talked about earlier, correct?
That is correct.
Did you always know him to be a hard worker when he was working at these jobs?
Always.
Let me talk to you about the gun gallery. You testified to some of the gun gallery stuff. You actually were the one who purchased that 9mm gun. Isn't that correct?
Purchased it immediately after our daughter came home from the hospital when she was born. Yes.
And the gun cleaning kit that you talked about as well, you also purchased that for him.
I did not. He purchased a gun cleaning kit because one time when he went to the gun range by himself, he said that immediately when he fired the gun, it jammed. And the guy who worked in there told him, look, you gotta keep these things clean regularly. So he came home with a gun cleaning kit and explained to me that that was why he purchased it.
Okay. And that was years prior, correct?
That was in the Trout River house.
And after, and as far as the gun gallery is would he go there fairly often?
Yes. Most of the time we would go together, but on December 20th, I recommended because he had a short day at work. It was raining half crazy and he released the workers to leave early on the yard. So I recommended, I'm like, hey, you're stressed, I'm stressed, go to the gun gallery. That's a stress reliever.
And so you were fully aware that he was going there?
Yes.
And from your own statement, you actually suggested that he go there?
Yes.
And that was just a pastime that he liked to do?
Yes.
A way to blow off steam?
Yes, we both like to. I just was very pregnant, so I couldn't go.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you for that. All right. I want to talk to you about the time period, specifically December 19th and the 20th. During those 2 days, specifically, you said that, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on what you said during your testimony, because I might have missed it. During those 2 days, did you observe anything strange from him at that time that you noticed?
His behavior was strange.
As far as looking, is that what you believe looking back, or at that time on the 19th and 20th, did you believe that?
On the 19th and 20th, I believe the period coming up to the 19th, his behavior was strange because he was continuously saying how his brother's not taking his call, his brother's not taking his call. And the significance of that was, for me, your brother doesn't take your call all the time. So what? He's not talking to you right now. What's the big deal? For him, he didn't see it that way.
Okay. And were you aware of any communication between him and his brother?
He made me aware of communication between him and his brother on January 8th, actually, the day that the cops took him away at Ace Pickle Art. He made me aware of communication with his brother. And it's my understanding that that was the first time that his brother actually called him back afterwards.
Okay. And I mean, there's phone records to talk about that, so I'm not going to ask you about that by any means, but were you aware that they were in communication quite a bit all that month in December?
I don't know. I know that he was panicked of his brother not speaking to him. So if they were in communication, I wasn't aware of that part.
Talk to the jury.
And if you heard the
Don't
figure
look at
that they
him.
were in contact via text and phone call 228 times in the month of December alone, would that surprise you?
Yes, it does surprise me.
So you were not aware of that, how often they were communicating?
No, I was not.
All right, when IS went missing, do you recall when Mr. Quiles found out and how?
I told him if he found out prior to that, then I didn't know. But from my mouth, he found out the moment that I found out that she did not come home from school.
Okay. And did you all assist? I know we've heard from other family members that people were trying to locate her and do what they could to post flyers and things like that. Did you both assist in that?
I could not assist the family because I was very estranged from the family at that time. But myself, on my own, when he came home from work, myself and our daughter would go and drive around in Arlington because I needed to do something. My niece was missing.
Understood. And I know that you guys said that you were estranged, but were you still in close contact with your sister, Margiela?
Yes.
And and you guys call her Margie, right?
I call her Margiela. They all call her Margie.
Okay. So would Margiela be giving you updates and keep you updated as far as leads and things that were going on?
Yes, she would.
So you were at least in contact with someone from the family and assisting in some way, whatever way you could at that time?
I couldn't assist. All I could do is be on the outside and listen to what they were doing. I could not assist because I was not included. I was estranged, as I said. I was just thankful to be able to at least have updates of the progress.
And during that time period, Mr. Quiles, he came home every night?
Yes.
Okay, he wasn't gone for any long period of time that you didn't know where he was, besides from work, obviously. But he wasn't gone for any long periods of time where you didn't know where he was?
No.
And at that time, you never had any indications during that period of time that he was somehow involved in IS's disappearance?
No, I didn't. And I asked him.
You asked him about whether he had anything to do with IS going missing?
Yes, the day the cops came to our house, and that's on record because the cops came out and it was all on the news. I asked him on that day, at that time, while the cops were at our house, I asked him.
And he denied?
Yes, he did.
During that time period when IS has gone missing, so this is sometime from December 19th up until Mr. Quiles' arrest. Actually, let me back up a little bit. From December 19th up until when police came to your house. And I believe your sister, Kimberly Mobley, came as well at one point when the police came to your house. Do you recall that?
All of my sisters came.
Okay. So from December 19th until, I believe it was December 26th or 27th, but shortly after Christmas, did at any point in time anyone talk about Jose being Johnathan Quiles?
At that point, I was no longer on the group text message. After December 6th, after the text message that happened on December 6th, that text line with me connected to it was no longer being utilized. So I don't know what they were talking about.
And prior to police coming to your house around a couple of days after Christmas, had you been questioned in any way about Jose being Johnathan Quiles?
No.
So for that 2 weeks where you're getting updates of what's going on and leads that they're following, Jose and Johnathan Quiles, that's never brought up.
That was December 6th. Again, I'll state, December 6th was the first time that my family said that he was Jose and he was also the father of her baby. Prior to that, they were on a search to find Jose. IS's story kept changing, and then they said he is Jose. And that was the first and only time that they directly came to a line that I was attached to. And it was a heated discussion where I said a lot of vulgar words to them. And I said, at that time, like I stated before with the prosecution, you don't have to wait until the baby is born. You can test him now. Any conversations that happened with my family after that time, I was not privy to.
Understood. And I guess I was asking more so about police communications. There was nothing to the police about Jose being Johnathan Quiles from December 19th all the way up until a few days after Christmas.
The only thing I learned of police communication is what was on the news.
Understood. And when you said that it was December 6th that this first came out, correct?
Yes.
Let me ask you about the sale of that red van that occurred after, I think you said it was after Christmas as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you testify that you asked him to sell a vehicle, correct?
I said vehicles, get rid of some of these cars. We only had 2 that were insurance and being plated. Our yard was looking like a parking lot, and I said, get rid of vehicles.
And did you all have a conversation about him selling that red van?
No, he just picked whichever one he was going to get rid of. I didn't care as long as it wasn't mine.
Okay, and didn't he actually speak to you about not selling the Durango?
Well, the Durango was his baby. He completely gutted out the Durango. He built a custom box in the back of the Durango. So at no time did I assume that he would get rid of the Durango. The 2 vehicles that I figured would go would be the broke down Dodge Intrepid and then whichever vehicle other than my Buick Lucerne.
Okay, so the only other vehicle that it could be would be the one that was broken down or that red van, correct?
No, it could have been his Dodge Intrepid because it could have been his Dodge Durango, but that was going to be up to him as to which vehicle he wanted to make his primary because he was the one who was going to choose what vehicles were going to be sold. My only stipulation was do not sell my Buick.
Okay, so there's 4 vehicles.
Yes.
The Buick, the broken down Intrepid, his Durango, and the red van that he was also using during that time period, correct?
That's correct.
I'm just trying to get to the point. The Durango, he actually told you, hey, I put way too much money. I've spent too much time. You described what the work that he did on the Durango. I'm not selling that particular car.
We didn't, I don't recall having a discussion or a debate. There would be no debate. I didn't give him conditions except for do not sell my Buick. So as to that, why would he have to discuss to me why he's not selling the Dodge Durango? My only stipulation was do not sell my Buick Lucerne.
Understood. So the only options he had to sell, he's not going to sell his baby as you described it, would be the red van or a vehicle that was broken down, correct?
He had 3 options of what had to go. He made his choice as to what he wanted to sell.
And it wasn't strange that he sold that red van in any way.
I did not question why he chose the vehicle that he chose.
Let me ask you how John is with people. Is he a really overly affectionate type of person? Would you describe him in that way?
As far as physically, or as far as words, as far as what words of terms of endearment or what?
Yes.
Terms of
all of the above.
As far as physically, no, he wasn't the one that was going to be just overly affectionate with everybody. But as far as terms of endearment, yes, he's going to call everybody baby.
Okay, and so like men, women, children, co-workers, friends, family, he would call everybody baby.
If you're in a circle of somebody who he considers to be a friend or a family member, then yes, but he's not just going to walk up to you and say, hey, baby. So
as far as your nieces, your nephews, he would call them baby as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he would hug and love on them as well, correct?
Yes.
And he was affectionate with them regularly, all of them.
Yes.
And so that wasn't anything strange or abnormal to you.
No.
You yourself never have witnessed anything that could be deemed inappropriate between Johnathan Quiles and your niece IS, correct?
No.
Never seen anything that could even be considered inappropriate behavior between Mr. Quiles and your other niece SS, correct?
Considering the fact that if something is going on behind the scenes, the one person you don't want to find out is the person who you are doing dirty and cheating on, such as the wife, it's not strange to me that I never saw anything directly. No, I did not see anything.
And you never even suspected that anything was going on, correct?
No, I didn't suspect. I just had the allegations that were coming from my family.
And those allegations were put to bed, according to you, correct?
No, they were. My comfort in the allegations was when I spoke to my nieces. That's when I was comforted by the allegations.
Even as you sit here now, you cannot tell us anything that you ever witnessed or suspected outside of those allegations that you questioned your nieces about that would be considered inappropriate behavior between your nieces, ISS or IS, and Mr. Quiles, correct?
In hindsight, as opposed to with all the new information, I can sit back and say, okay, well, that was strange to cooking my niece a meal every time, especially knowing that she was also pregnant at the same time that I was pregnant. At that time, no, but afterwards, having over 4.5, almost 5 years to sit back and think in hindsight, yes, I will say that that was extremely strange.
And let me ask you about the cooking thing, because you brought that up. The cooking thing, you testified on direct that he would ask all of the kids, hey, what do you all want to eat? And then he would make food for them, correct?
He would ask all of them. They would either agree and they all wanted the same thing at that particular time, or they would each say what they did want. But when it all boiled down to it, I got my meal, and the second meal that was made was always the one that Yana said. IS, the one that IS said.
And as far as cooking 2 meals, you're talking about that time period when you were pregnant.
Yes.
Okay. And during that time period, he's making you a specific meal that's just for you, right?
Yes.
And the other meals that he's making, and that's basically because of your request, right? Like, hey, I want XYZ.
Yes.
And he would accommodate that.
Yes, he would.
And he would do that regularly. That's just the kind of guy he was.
He was a cook. He was the cook. Yes.
All right. And as far as any sort of specifics, do you recall telling police, I believe it was August of 2022, and I don't have the exact date, but around that time period, do you remember telling police that you didn't have any sort of specifics that you could provide or any information that you could provide of what you witnessed or saw or anything like that to indicate any sort of inappropriate or suspicious behavior about Mr. Quiles around this time that IS went missing?
It's the same thing that I'm saying now. It's the same thing that I said at that time. I cannot say what I did not see.
One moment.
No redirect, thank you, sir.
Ms. Mobley, good to see you, ma'am. The rest of your day.
Woo, they finished just in time, y'all. Y'all, I'm gonna come back. This evening. I'm about to head out. Look at him. Them glasses done got tight on them eyes. Look at him. He looking goofy now.
All right, members of the jury, we're going to take our lunch break now. It's 12:38. I told you earlier today, I'd let you know about scheduling wise.
All right, ladies, we'll be back in here when I get back from work. I'll be back, okay?
I've talked to the attorneys about this yesterday.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be back.
Well. So they're fully aware of what I'm going to mention regarding scheduling moving forward. Couple different